Good morning. I'm starting a little early today. Uh, yeah, we're just coding. I'm here. You've got questions. I don't have all the answers, but at least I can maybe be your duck, right? Talk to the duck. I'm gonna continue working on some stuff that I've been working on with Anand and Josh. I'm gonna get caught up, do some fun stuff. We're gonna mess with the YouTube pubsub API, build some stuff. So like, feel free to hang out or not. Like, I hope you're having a good day. Either way, I hope you're having a good day. So I had made some changes to Anand's project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fork his project. I'm gonna push my stuff into a fork so that he can have a copy. So bear with me, I'll get caught up here. Got a couple of things going on. Let's grab this fork. So I just made a fork of Anand's project. I have a copy of it over here. So I've got a copy of that. And then I'm just gonna take all of that. Wait, where am I? I want to go into my version, and then I'm going to copy the changes that I was making. Right. Let's get all those things. So now I should have similar. So this says I deleted YouTube client factory autoconfig. This one doesn't. Oh, because I didn't. Okay. So let's remove this one. Okay. These are the new. No, I have a new credentials data store. Got it. And I have a new caption download. Okay. And I think we're set. Let's load it. Actually, I need a, I think I need the envrc. Do I not have one? Oh, okay. Let's get this though. And yeah, let's jump in and let's see. Let's get those things going. The whole idea here is I'm trying to stream more, but I really don't have a big agenda. I really am just trying to be available. I got the morning sun right in my eyes. That's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna build some stuff. Let's just make sure that this works, which it should. Wait, I thought I didn't have any envrc. Why is this happening? I don't know why. All right. Okay, cool. So that's there. Then I should be able to do this, maybe clean install, and all my tests should work. Okay, so my token is expired. We're gonna circle back to that, but I'm gonna click this link. I'm gonna authenticate, and then that should continue. No. Hey, Lawrence. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? How are you today? I saw your update. You got your 1 hour video done. I don't think you posted a link to it yet, though. Maybe I'm behind. I'm gonna go check. I gotta go check the hot. Check out the news. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. I'm looking. Did you post it? No, I don't think I see it yet. I'm keeping my eye open for it. Yeah, we had a good chat. I'm excited. But the text was a tad blurry. Okay, it's good to know. I really haven't been streaming on Twitter that much lately because you have to be a subscriber in order to even chat. So like, but I figured might as well like put it out there, especially when I'm doing something a little bit more fun. But normally I'm just streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, and I might start doing caffeine as well. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But I'm glad everything's working over here. So what I'm doing right now is we've been messing around with this idea of, hey, I'm putting YouTube stuff. I'm doing live, right? I do the live content, and not the kind of chat conversation stuff. That doesn't make for a great video. But sometimes, right? Sometimes there might be little clips in there. So what the plan is, oh, I think I'm being yelled at. I can't tell. Please hold. I'm gonna turn this volume down. What the plan is today I'm making some changes here, making sure my stuff works. Oh, sorry about the ads. Ah, man. I'll tell you what I did. Twitch has a new thing. I can't see the ads thing. I gotta do a better job of this. I don't know how to do all this. I'm gonna have to ask for help from some of my more experienced Twitch folks. But what I was looking for was, yeah, I'm here. Let me do this. Shout out. Practicing my Twitch skills. So I threw a shout out there. Wait, but why didn't it show up here? I put it up, and I can't even see. But we'll figure it out. So do the little shout out. I'm figuring out all like the nuance, not nuance, the social norms of the streaming, and I haven't got it all figured out yet. I'm working on it. So 2024, I'm going to stream more. I'm going to try to do these morning streams and yeah, start the day that way. But now here's the cool thing. This is what we're working on. What I want is when I'm done with the live stream, I would like to have this. Let's go to where we're at here. The idea is we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna subscribe to the event stream. So I can do this for any public event stream. I can say, oh, hey, did Lawrence, oh, I'm being called. Please hold. So that was a proud dad moment. My son is on his way to school and he wanted to rep one of the new beanies. So he took the one off my head. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I gave him the one off my head. Here's what we're doing. When I do a morning stream, I'm not great at the production stuff, and I'd like to automate as much of my job as possible, which you probably want to do too. So yes, absolutely, that's my boy. So I did take him. Right, let's go here. I'll give a shout out, or not, like, I'm just talking trash. Last week, my son came up and he presented with me in front of the Montreal Java user group. And he did an amazing job. It was standing room only. And he was up there doing his thing. There should be another video of him standing and presenting. But yeah, he did it and it was awesome. So yeah, I think I've got a little, I'm having a little influence on him. Yeah, so it's been good. Right? Like, so you'll get this. Like, it doesn't matter where you start. That you can start anywhere. I was one of the kids that I had a computer early on, and my parents definitely kind of pushed me in that direction, and it worked. And thank you, Mom and Dad. With my kids, if I can get 10 minutes of their interest, if I just do that over and over again, maybe by the time they are 18, maybe they'll have enough exposure, enough skill set where, yeah, they can be excited about it and jump in. So that's my game plan. But it doesn't matter where you start. There's so much room. And I've got a friend here in the area, Ian, that I started working with when he was in high school. And now he's in college. But when he was in high school, he had enough skills. He had enough enthusiasm and patience and ability to problem solve that he could have gone straight out of high school and right into tech. Here in Missouri, we don't have enough people to fill the jobs. There's so much demand, and yeah, we need more and more people doing this. So yeah, so I'm trying. Yep, planting the seeds, watering, shining like the sun. Yes, just remember to prune the weeds. Good idea. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to subscribe to these push notifications, or I'm going to try anyways, so that when I'm done with the stream, I should get an event that says, hey, there's a new video. And from that, I can go and grab that video. And what I'll do is I'll grab the transcript and I'll do some analysis on the transcript. Hey, what do we talk about? I'll give a new subscription or description, a summary, and I'll write it back to the YouTube API. So I can, describe for that video that's in my YouTube channel. But I can also do some interesting things like talk to an AI, like we're doing the OpenAI, and say, hey, like, what's the best segment? What's the best 30-second clip in that video based on the transcript? What's the best 30-second clip that I might want to make as like a short? And I'm going to do this and I'm going to try to automate it all. So first step, we're just doing kind of baby steps. And let me give a reference to here. This is what started it. I got to sneeze. Excuse me. Lab every day, Dewan made this, and it's awesome. And basically you feed it your YouTube video ID, and then it goes out and it gives you your summary, your SEO tags, little description for your Twitter and your LinkedIn, and it'll generate the posts for your socials and all that kind of stuff. And it'll generate a thumbnail for your image or for your video based on the video. So let me show you what that output looks like. You can tell these, the thumbnails that are generated by the AI, and just to have it automated, like thumbnails like this. Like, I want to automate that stuff. I don't have that skill set. So if I can make this machinery work, I can plug in my video and just have it spit out this stuff like, hey, fantastic. That sounds like a great idea. So that's what I'm working towards. And maybe you'll have fun with it too. So this is what's kind of kicked it off for us. This is what what started, or for me, and I shared it with my friends because it's a great project and it works. The only problem with this project is it's written in Python. So what I need to do is I need to get all of this working on Raspberry Pis. So here's where we are. Baby steps, we're putting the pieces together. His tool is kind of a standalone web app, grab the ID, boom. And you know, the sky's the limit, right? We're all kind of trying to figure out where we can plug in AI and where we can use it the best. So here's my example, right? This is, I'm trying to stream more. There's a lot of work that goes into, you know, being a good streamer and making your content visible so other people can find you. I'm not making videos with agendas. I'm making myself available. That's the main reason for my stream, is just to be available. Start the day, whatever you were stuck on yesterday, bring your question, think out loud, and just, yeah, be available. That's my jam. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm available. So let's say, when you consider a project like this, do you map out MVP or final state in any way, diagrams, flowcharts? That's a great question. I have this open, and here's what I think. And I kind of think in drawings. I'll say a video event. And I think about it, but I don't normally like draw it or save the artifacts. What this is going to do is, I had to subscribe. But I don't normally draw out these things or keep these kind of things, and maybe that's a good idea. But I've been doing this enough where I kind of like figure out what the pieces are, and I'm thinking about the small pieces. So right now, we're gonna generate, we gotta do the pub subscribe, which I haven't done yet, but we're gonna generate this like handler. Yeah. And what's gonna happen is when there's a new event, what we expect, this is gonna be an HTTP call to this handler. I've got to give it a URL. I assume, right? So it knows where I'm at. And yeah, and then it's gonna be Adam, from what I read. But you know, if I'm trying to like think out loud and show these things, right? Yeah, this makes sense. To make like what's in my head, like help people understand what's in my head. But this is kind of the way I do it. I use Excalidraw, and then like at the end of the day, I save these. Just these are my notes, my thoughts, and usually I just kind of keep all the stuff from the whole day, and I'm scrolling up and down and keeping things here. But I don't really save artifacts into my GitHub repos, for example. So what I'm gonna do today is I put the stuff that I do for like the live streaming stuff. I have that over here at javagrunt.com. There's a little intro video. I haven't really been doing the blog posts, but I'm working on that. So I'll have like the live feed stuff here, but also like, I think I did it with this one. I'm trying to think. Yeah, just like caption stuff. Do a little show notes maybe for each of the live streams. Maybe that's the idea. But have some reference. I'm trying to think. Maybe it'd be cool to have like the transcript automatically saved so it's searchable. Ooh, see, now my wheels are spinning. I think Lab Everyday, Duan, I think he does that. I think he's got a database with all the transcripts, but I'm not sure. Or maybe I might be making that part up. But that might be an option. It might be a fun option too. So here's what we're doing. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna get this event, and this event's gonna look something like this. And that's it. That's all I care about. Like, let me get an event. Let me make sure I subscribe, and I can get an event, and it works on, I don't have to create a new video. It also works if we just update a video's title or a video's description, so I can test it by just updating a title or subscription or description. And we'll see. So I'm gonna build I haven't done anything like this in a while, so it'll be fun, but I'm going to think out loud and share. So what I was doing was I wanted to make sure that I had this YouTube starter that Anand was working on. I made some changes, so I got an example that I can use locally. I think it did not work when I built it, so I'm going to try this again. Hey, good luck with your meeting. And yeah, awesome. That's wonderful. So yeah, we're here. We're hanging out. Let's see if we can get this to work. For some reason, oh, there we go. So everything's working. My test passed. Now I've got an instance of this that I'm comfortable with. I've got a local version. My version does not have a refresh token. It's not automatically refreshing. So we'll get to that later. But now I can download transcripts. So that's the idea. And this is all authenticating proper using the Google data API. But now we're going to go to the next step. So we're going to pause on that. We'll figure out the refresh token later. I want to do that with Anon. And yeah, now I'm gonna work on this. So I'm gonna commit this stuff into my fork. So that actually I need to change this because oh no, I don't. So git status, git commit. So now Anand has an example, or he's got my fork where I was doing things slightly different than he was on the YouTube Spring Cloud Starter. And I can close that. I just want to make my copy available for Anand, and I'm going to pass this over to him on my Discord real quick. And then I'll get started. Now I'm ready. So here we go. So I've checked that box, and we're good. And I got another message somewhere that I don't see. I don't know where that is. Please hold. I'm going to close my Discord and restart that because my computer's been acting funny lately. I think it's drunk. Discord is the thing that I usually keep open somewhere. But this says, I got this thing saying I have a new message, but I don't know where it is. So I got this little alert, but I can't see where the new message is. So who knows? All right, let's get out of here. Let's get back to what we were doing. We are going to make a new project. So we're going to do this one. We're going to go over here to start.spring.io. And if I'm thinking about this, of course, I'm going to use Maven in 3.2. Now, I think I need to change my conventions a little bit. So, com, Java, grunt. And this is it my YouTube service? So for this, what would you call this? I'll have an application. What would you call this thing that's just sitting out there waiting for something to call? So the cool thing is this is going to be scaled to 0, right? I'm not making videos all day. This thing doesn't need to be up and live all day. So it's going to be a native image that will stand up. It'll be deployed to Knative serving on a Raspberry Pi, and it'll stand up when it gets a call, and it'll get its data, and then 30 seconds later it'll shut down. That's what's up. So what would you call that? Pubsub handler? I don't know. We can change it later. I'm going to call it a listener. Cool. YouTube. Yeah. Not my conventions. But the things that I always add are actuator. Do I need anything else? Not right now. Like I'm going to do web. So we can handle the response. I'm going to create some endpoints. I'm definitely going to do Graal. What else? What else do I need? I don't know. I think that might be it. I think that might be it. So let's just generate that. And like I said, I'm going to push into Java Grunt because I'm doing this kind of live and that's what I've been doing. Excuse my sniffles. Actually, I'm going to go blow my nose. So please hold. Enjoy the music. Alrighty. So I'm allergic to cats, and we've got two. Here we go. We are here. We're going to make a new repository. And like I said, com Java Grunt listener. YouTube. Cool. Of course, public. Yeah. All the way. Like, have fun with it. We're giving it away, folks. So let's grab this. Hello. And let's go over here. And fun Java Grunt. Get clone that. Unzip the project that we just created. And then let's move all that stuff. And make sure we got everything. Cool. So now we got our project, our start from start.spring.io. I've got some conventions that I like to do. So I'm going to do that here. Does that work? Why did it say unloading? I don't like that. Something didn't happen right there. Yes, Nicholas, this is live on YouTube as well. And my channel is here, https youtube.com/Sean. Right there. So join me there. That's what I'm working on. So what I'm building here is an event listener for my YouTube videos. I'm trying to get a head start on my 2024. I'm going to try to stream every morning from 8:30 to 10:30 Central Time. I got started a little bit early today. And yeah, and I don't really have an agenda here. I'm just going to build stuff. I'm going to take stuff for a spin, but the main goal here is I want to be available. I want some of us are working remote and we don't have people to ask questions with sitting around us. And I got a lot of benefit back during the Panini of having live coders on another screen, just being there, being a part of my environment, a part of the thinking out loud and going through things. Because a lot of times, sometimes it doesn't really matter, but sometimes there's that great nugget of information and you're like, oh, sometimes you need to see how other people do things in order to learn the cheat codes, like this one, like the Alt Tab, the switch between screens. You didn't read that in a manual. That's the one I always talk about. You didn't read that in a manual. You saw somebody else do it and you're like, well, what did you do? So this is what I'm trying to do. I just want to be available. I'm a Spring developer advocate. So if you've got questions about Spring, good morning, Robotech. Wonderful. If you've got questions about Spring, yeah, I'll put that up here. Like Spring Boot. These are my jams. Spring Boot. Raspberry Pis. We're going to take this project and it's going to be deployed to a Raspberry Pi that looks like this. This is a $15 Raspberry Pi, but we're going to take this Spring Boot application, we're going to deploy it there. We're going to use Kubernetes, GraalVM, native images, etc. But ARM64 is kind of my jam. But yeah, you got questions about anything. This Pi, Robotech, is a Raspberry Pi 02. So it's $15 and they're available now. You can usually only order one at a time, but it's a $15 computer. And I can plug this in and it's going to take very little power. And I can plug it in and it can be a web server. For most projects that I'm going to be building here, this is all I need. I've got a bunch of them, but I don't need much more. Hey, Nicholas, wonderful, thanks. I'm glad that you're here. And this stream, you can feel free. Good morning, Icon. Thank you so much, Icon. I gotta talk to you about the ads. Help guide me in which way I should be setting up the ads on Twitch. And yeah, we'll chit chat about that at some point. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. And we got a little community going on here. I heard a beep, but I don't know where it came from. So let me look. Right on. All right, we're set. Sorry, I gotta listen to notifications from the work, from my colleagues. So here we are. Feel free to interrupt. Wait, can you not hear me? This is not good. I don't know what's happening. Check. You should be able to hear music, right? Check. Wait, do you not hear music? You should be able to hear me and the music. You can't hear me. Oh boy. Heroes here. Wait, there we go. You don't hear music. You hear my voice though? All right. Okay, cool. So do I need to turn up my mic? I can do that, I think. Hopefully that helps. Audio is the hardest thing. I think I got it figured out so I can turn up the music in my ear. I can have all my stuff, but I don't want like the notifications going out. And when I have visitors in, I don't want the echo. So I think I got it figured out. I'm using a Roland Bridgecast that's got like the 2-channel thing. And yeah, hopefully, all right, hopefully this is working. You can hear me good. Yes, we're hanging out. Coding with Strangers Hero, I put you on last night. You were just working. And again, this thing that I'm doing here of just like working, I don't always have to be talking. Sometimes it's just coding. And that's what you were doing last night. And that's just, I put it on the TV in the bedroom. And that's just like the thing I do before I go to sleep. So then when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about code. And I wake up and I was excited to dig into more stuff. But you're not hearing music. I want the music down low. So let me see if I can just bop that up a little bit. I don't want the music to be high. But yeah, if you can't hear the music, that's okay. I just wanted to fill in the background noise. We'll see. We'll see if that works. Ooh, that seems like, wait, hold on. Maybe. It's real quiet. You might be able to hear it now. Maybe. But I just wanted to fill up the background noise. I don't want you to be able to hear the fans in the background. Perfect. Perfect. Real stress test. I didn't even hear what you were doing. You were doing this move. Right? And that's okay. I saw that there was code on the screen. I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't read it. But it was just, oh, good. The music's good. This is excellent. I'm feeling like this is a great start to the day. So let's get back into the code. Coding with Strangers, you were up late. Now you're here. Thank you so much for being here. This is what we do. So again, just a reminder, you got questions. It doesn't have to be about these things. You've got questions. Ask. This is the main purpose of this is I've got some experience. I've been around for a while and I just want to help. I want to help you get unstuck. Sometimes when you don't have that person next to you, it's hard to ask questions, but I want it to be a safe place. I want you to be able to ask questions about whatever it is you're working on. Definitely if it's one of these things, please ask, because I'm excited to hear what you're doing. But yeah, I'm gonna work. Hopefully you're getting some work done or you're just hanging out, and yeah, we're gonna go forward. So a few of you know what's happening. We started working on this YouTube analysis assistant where I'm doing a stream, for example, and when I'm done, there's going to be a new video out on YouTube, and YouTube has this pubsub API here that I can subscribe to, and when the video's done, or maybe it's when it started, we'll see, I'm going to get an event. YouTube's going to fire off this event, and it's going to send me over some data that looks like this. I just want to do that. So then I can take action. So I can have some automation. I don't want to do things manually. I want to be able to, hey, I'm done with the stream. Goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow. And I want to have a process that grabs the video, analyzes, build a description, a summary using AI. We have a Spring AI project. Figure out the SEO search terms so other people can find it, and automate that stuff. That's the whole idea, right? Nothing like crazy. Again, I have no agenda here, but there might be 30 seconds worth that might be good for a clip. And I'm going to have the AI find those clips based on the transcript. So stay tuned if you're interested. Yeah, we've been working on this for a little while, but just bits and pieces. We're putting the pieces together, and AI is moving fast. So yeah, we're just trying to connect the dots, keep up as much as we can. I know a lot of us are drinking from the fire hose, right? It seems like we always have so much to learn. Coding with Strangers, you definitely know what I'm talking about there. Robotech understands, like, there's so much to learn, and sometimes it feels like, are we learning enough? Are we learning fast enough? I want to keep my job. I really want to keep my job. So I'm going to keep on doing this. So I'm in the same spot. I've been there. I've been doing this for a long time. So now I'm just going to do it live. Do it live so you can see how I learn. I don't have all the answers. I'm not great at this, but I'm not afraid to share and yeah, learn in the open. I believe that when you do it in the open and when you do it with friends, collaborate, it makes it stickier. The things that you do become stickier if you're doing it together. So here we are. here we are. So we've got this project. Let's just do a little test. Yeah, clean test. I expect this to work because we didn't do anything, but I expect it to work. All right, cool. So right now we're good. What I want to do now is I want to open up this, and I'm thinking, what is this going to look like? I'm going to give this pubsub. I'm going to give it a URL to call me, and what do I want that URL to be? So it's going to be something. Do I follow my naming convention? Right, listener.youtube. Do I make it like this? YouTube listener.javagrunt.com/ and just let it send those Atom URLs there. That might be just fine, right? Any insights? Any feedback? I think that's what we're gonna do. Is just that'll be the URL that we're gonna deploy this to. And you're like, deploy? Yeah, I'm gonna deploy this to Kubernetes, Knative serving. Let's put this here. Because we're gonna scale it to 0. It doesn't need to be live all the time. It needs to answer a call. I don't think there's, actually I should probably check. I don't think there's any like timeout, latency, SLA here. I'm just gonna get a push notification. HTTP webhooks. Right? Yeah, I think this will be just fine. So here. Yep, and get mapping. Like, hey, here's where I want to handle the call. I don't think. Do I have to give a response? I don't think I do. Maybe I'll just do like a success kind of thing. So wait, this is going to be a post, right? It doesn't really tell me. But if it's got a body, it's probably a post, right? And that means that it's going to have some content. So if I'm over here, I don't remember. Let's go look. Let's go to my guides. Check this out, building a RESTful web service. Okay, yeah. So it's going to respond here. That's a get. I want something doing a post. Okay, there are companion and implementations. Yes, post from the service. Is it this one? I'm just scanning real fast. I'm looking for an at post mapping right here. And this is what I'm looking for, right? That's the thing that I didn't remember, request body. So the mapping is here, and what I need here is the request body. And I can do the model. Will it automatically convert? That's probably something I should look for, but for right now, I'm just gonna do this. This is Atom XML. And all I care about right now is, yeah, let's do the logger. I want to follow my own conventions, so please hold. where I have different conventions that I follow. Again, I'm assuming, let me step back. So one of the things I didn't draw is like, I've got Kubernetes. I've got these regions. I'm drawing the same pictures that I drew yesterday. This is all just going to be Raspberry Pis. And I'm making a platform, right? We're going to see like, what does this look like? Because there's more to software development than just the code, right? Just the hello world. What does production look like? And there's a lot of things that happen from when I do a git commit to getting something to production. And here you're going to get to see some of those things, even though as a developer, you probably don't care about what all this is. But I'm going to be building, putting together bits and pieces of OSS to make it so that when I do a git commit and I follow my own conventions, I get something that's running in production. So you'll get to see that here. So I have some conventions. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go look at some of those conventions. I'm going to go look at this other project that's in Java Grunt that I was working on yesterday. This Twitch service that's going to be doing something similar, right? And I'm just reminding myself of what those conventions I set because I'm following some guidance from the Spring team. So I'm going to go grab these things that are in place in this other project because I know that I pulled them from the Spring team. Not that. I'm going to do these. Again, just conventions that I should codify, right? If I was doing this right, I'd codify it. Sorry. Back here, the other thing I want to grab is the way that we're capturing logs. Excuse me. Here, we're going to put that file in. And then now that I'm thinking about it, there are some other pieces that we did in this other project. Now I'm getting all of my guidance from Jonathan. Let me show you where, because his projects are awesome. It's the Tea House project from Jonathan. So what he's done is he's got this project that has all the Docker Compose set up for like a production-ish, the things that you want. It's got a MySQL server. It's got Toxie proxy, so you can do some chaos engineering. It's got Prometheus, so you can capture your metrics. You can see your metrics with Grafana, Tempo for alerting, Loki for your logs. You can send out emails. So it's got this beautiful project where all these cool things are integrated. And I'm kind of following some of his patterns for the project I'm doing because I like his work. I'm a big fan. He is one of the observability leads around Micrometer, which is a tool see, I'm saying these things and I'm realizing that I didn't add. So let's just copy. I didn't add them when I created my project over on start.spring.io. So let's add some of these things. Yeah, let's add our dev tools. In our Zipkin report. Yeah, we want all of these things. We didn't decide that we're going to call out on anything yet, but I do want this. Right, I do want Prometheus. So let's bring that over. Apologies. I'm just copying over dependencies. What reminded me was this logback. So let's grab this. What else? I don't need Twitch. Do I need this? Let's see if I got that from Jonathan. I'm going to go into TD service, build Gradle. Is he pulling it in specific? Now, why did I pull that in? It doesn't look like he's pulling it in. I see that he's got this, the Loki logback appender. So maybe we'll come back to this, but I don't know why I have this here off the top of my head. Maybe that's something around the Twitch API. So we'll see. We'll come back because we're not in that project right now. But is there anything else in here that I want? No. I got Actuator, I got Web. I might as well put in I kind of want to do this anyways. The Zipkin reporter and the Zipkin tracing. And what else? What else did I miss? Did I put in the dev tools? Just plugging in things, right? Like the thing is, these starters, it's just work that I don't have to do. I add the starter, I get it. I don't have to do that work, which makes me happy. I want to focus on just the like connecting the dots. I got that. We're good. Of course, I'm going to just add in test containers. Because test containers is awesome. Congratulations, test containers. Now part of Docker. So I got some cool things. In here, we're good. Yeah, we're set. I have everything there. I'm going to grab this because it's also awesome. And I'm going to copy this over so that I just get a Zipkin starter. Or I'll go into that. So one of the other conventions, and maybe this is more OCD, is like when I'm here, I want to rename this. To just application. So then I have application, application test. Should this be this? And then here I've got test application. Oh, I got to get this. I had this button, reindex those new dependencies so I can start up Zipkin automatically. And then it knows how to run application. So simple conventions. And now when I start up this test application, I get a Zipkin instance automatically, which may or may not matter here, but eventually this Spring Boot handler will do something else, right? Not yet. Who knows? I don't know what it's going to look like. But at some point, we're going to get this part done first. And I think we might be set here. So if I got an application, I've got a request body. Oh, I was talking about my log. We have a console logger, a rolling file logger. We're good. I feel like I'm missing something around the logs. Oh, my convention for how I was logging. Because I used to use SLF4J. That looks good. I kind of miss it, but I got to work on getting my automatics out there. So I'm just doing things more automatic, and that just takes practice, right? Right, I got to get these things, got to get more reps. Sure. Right. Fantastic. What is this? So what I expect. So now I feel like I want to do more. What I expect is when I start up and I submit the Atom XML here, I'm going to get something. That's it. But I feel like I should do some testing. So I'm going to open up another project because I don't know these things off the top of my head. So I'm going to go find another example. Because I have this idea. I just don't remember which project it is. Did I do it with image service? I think I did it with image service. Let's find it. But I'm a big fan of like documentation and testing, and that's all great. And I've got time. I'm not in a rush. I've got time. I'm trying to practice and get reps. So let's practice as much as we can. And again, I don't have an agenda. I don't have all this stuff practiced. I'm sorry. If you want a tutorial, I'm not that guy. But you can see how I work through things. So I have this other GitHub org, springofficehours.io. Shout out to Spring Office Hours. This is a show that we do weekly, myself, springofficehours.io, that I do with Dan Vega. Now you talk about tutorials and high production quality. Yeah, you might want to check out this guy. But we do these weekly episodes. Lawrence was on the show earlier. We did this with Lawrence on Tuesday. It's a YouTube. You can listen to it as a podcast while you go for your run or on your commute to work. But yeah, that's what I do. So I've got some project over here. And one of them is this image service. Now you want to see something cool? This image service is what we use to, or what I use to build these images. Let me go back here and let me just show you. Because who wants to open up Adobe in order to just do this, right? We just changed the little footer on each of these, or the little like note, and automate all the things. So when I create an episode, I want a way of creating this image. So what did I do? I created this service, but the cool thing, why I'm in here, is because in this service, I do something a little special. I do, Spring REST docs. Spring REST docs. So what does that mean? Like Spring REST docs, I have tests that generate the documentation, image-service.springofficehours.io. This is running on a Raspberry Pi back in right there in that cluster, just like the others. And this is the documentation, but it's generated from the tests. So this is the pattern that I'd like to copy, right? So we built this test banner by running a test. And this is the test. It shows you exactly how to do it. Now the cool thing is, and I don't know if it's cool, I kind of feel like I had Jitter Ted around to help me do this the right way, but we're gonna look at this project and we're gonna copy and paste, right? It worked there, so of course it's gonna work. We'll make sure we're on the latest and greatest, but let's go open up that project. And I'm gonna put it on the side and I'll just kind of talk through it as I go. So here, fun, Spring Office, I have my conventions of where it should be. I owe the service, and let's open that up in another window. I'm going to be copying from this other project. I could have done some of these things from start.spring.io, most of it, but that's okay. I forgot. I'm nervous. You guys are here. I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. You guys are awesome. But all I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of follow some of these other conventions. So I talk about conventions, and I have a tool that's going to help me. So I have this initializer++ tool, and I'm going to do a couple of things that I normally do. Extensions, description, project version, extensions. So if you're going to live in my platform, you're going to run on my platform, you'll have this tool that will allow you to follow these conventions, but also all of these other things, the REST docs and the logging, all of those things should be in my IDP, which I don't have yet, but that IDP should be able to deliver an accelerator. Right? I shouldn't have to like go through and check all these boxes. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this simple thing. I should have had a pattern for a simple handler that's going to allow me to check all the boxes that I need to get to production. But I don't have that yet. So now I'm going through the pain of getting to start, right? Before we're actually doing anything. Putting in the documentation, putting in the tests, etc. So here we are. So now I'm doing the copy paste. I also want my initializer plus my multi-arch builder. And what that did was changed my POM to match some of the other conventions that I follow in order to get to production. Cool. Why did that not? Oh, okay. So here we are. And then I want to add this logback appender. Loki. Logback appender. Sorry, I didn't grab it all. What else? I got the micrometer tracing. I got the actuator. I got dev tools. I got web. Now I want Spring REST docs. Now, here I'm using mock MVC. But now I'm contemplating. Is this the right project? This is my default. This is what I've used in the past. This is what I know better. But I feel like I want to be using Rest Assured for some other things. So let me take a look over here. Spring. Let's go look at the project. Let's see what's going on. Projects. View all projects. I know where it lives. GitHub.com. Spring projects. Spring REST docs. Spring REST docs. There we go. And let's jump. We like this. Let's see. I'm going to go to the docs. 3.0.1. So we're on the latest and greatest. Thank you, Andy and Jay. And let's just take a look at the docs. See what's happening. This section describes how to get started. Sample. We got some sample applications. That's always nice. Requirements. There. See, this is what I want. So I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say REST docs, and I'm gonna peek at this. And what did that add? So it added mock MVC by default, and it added the ASCII Doctor plugin. And I feel like I've learned some things with that as well. So let me jump back to the docs here. So do I need this? So where's the difference working with ASCII Doctor? Markdown. So I think I can just swap out the RESTdocs mock MVC for RESTdocs Rest Assured. I think. But those are famous last words, right? So let's just copy this little snippet. Oh, I already put it there. I'm going to replace that with Rest Assured. And it might say, hey, you don't have all the things, because we saw in the documentation it says you also need Rest Assured 5.2. So let's go and see if we can find that. I think I have So at least 5.2. Ooh, that is an old version. So I'm going to do this 5.2.1. Just we'll stick with the docs for now. And we'll refresh. All right, and oh, what I didn't do was I didn't add the plugin bits, which I should be able to do here or here. All right, it's setting that up for me. But again, this is something that should come out of the accelerator, right? But we'll get to that later. We'll get there. I think I want that here. Plugin, plugin. Plugin, plugin. So now what did I do? I added the ASCII Doctor Maven plugin, which has its own dependencies. It needs a Spring RESTdocs version. Let me grab that property. I expected a properties here. Why didn't I get that? Does it know that automatically? Or did it get it from here? Let's see. What I'm hoping that'll do is it'll allow me to create, this is what we're trying to get to, create my documentation automatically based on my tests so that my documentation is always in sync with my tests. So we added Spring RESTdocs. And we're using the rest assured. I feel like I have another example on how to do that, but let's just keep going through the documentation. Since I haven't used it in a while, let's just go make sure that we're checking all the boxes. So we're here. This all looks the same. We added the dependency. We're good. It says, if you want to use web test client or rest assured rather than mock MVC, add a dependency on Spring RESTdocs web test client or Spring RESTdocs rest assured. So I added that, rest assured. We added the ASCII Doctor plugin using prepare package. We're good. Right, add this as a dependency. Yep, it's good. This will automatically configure the snippets attribute for use in your ADOC files to point to target generated snippets. Okay, it will also allow you to use the operation block macro. All right, so you may want to package generated documentation in your project jar file. I do. So like, yeah, have it served as static content. That's what I do. To do so, configure project's build so that the documentation is generated before the jar is built. And the generated documentation is included in the jar. So I think I just need this. ASCII Doctor Maven plugin. We're here. And this is a slightly different Maven Resources plugin. So for the Maven Resources plugin, that's ASCII Doctor Maven plugin. I need to have this bit, and I have to take out those things. So Maven Resources plugin. Is it going to go before or after the Spring Boot Maven plugin? I think it's here. Cool thing is I've got this other project over here that was probably doing it. So let's go take a look at what we did. So I had it after my native Maven plugin and before my Spring Boot Maven plugin. Oh, I do want the build info as well. I need to add this because for the when I'm deploying these things, Part of the fun, especially when I'm doing the live stream, is like I want you to see the changes and that this is like real. There's nothing, I'm not hiding anything. I put all of this stuff, I make all the pipelines and all the stuff available. So yeah, I want you to see it. I want you to see the different versions and the conventions and how they change as you go to production. Because there's some things that I do are cool. Some, not all of them, but some of them. Oh, I have a duplicate Maven plugin. Oh, there. I'm gonna move this. Down to here. I'm gonna grab this execution bit so that I get a version info when I deploy it. And I still didn't do anything, but I do have an actuator, so I can do this. I can do this actually. I can close this. Did I miss? Let me check real quick. I feel like I'm missing something. So I've got this Initializer++, Spring Boot shell project that I use to like make sure I'm following the conventions for all the other projects, because sometimes I forget. Look at that. I had a Spring REST docs. I had a command here that would add the Spring REST stuff for me. I should probably go update that. I'm sure it's using old versions. But this is an example of one of those things where I was like, I should probably have this. I should probably have this automatic. I was just talking about that. Like, yeah, I should probably have this as part of my accelerator. Well, I don't have an accelerator yet. I've got the CLI, and the CLI is going to help me implement these conventions. I'll do it in my path to production as well, but having a CLI to do these things that are just by default. These are the smart things that you should have, and I did it. I was procrastinating. It's something that I knew that I was going to need at some point, and I did it. So here we are. Let's take a look. I don't think there's anything else in here that I really wanted. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, there's nothing else. All right, so I'm going to actually close this window. And I'm going to stick in my IDE. I'm trying to like spend more time just in my IDE instead of in the terminal. So what I believe I can do now, if I go and refresh my indexes, I'll let that happen. I believe that I can just like start this application up. And all this application is going to have in it, I don't have any tests. Right now, the application is just going to have an endpoint here, but it's got the actuator, so I can go and get some information. Let me do one more bit, as I just got done saying I didn't want to jump to the terminal, but I'm going to do it this way. I am not in any of those. I'm in Java Grunt, com, the listener, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep track of where I'm at. Git add dot. Like this is kind of like a, mini milestone. Yeah. Initialized. So I have this plugin that should give me a version and build info when I run this. Oh, that doesn't come until I do the thing. But let's see what I get. Let's run this test application. And let's see what happens. So at least it starts up. That's good. I've got Docker running, and I installed Zipkin. I said, hey, I want to be able to capture traces. So now my application is running. It stood up a Zipkin instance so I could send it traces. I just heard an event in my ear. Apologies. One of my colleagues is pinging me. So give me just a sec. I don't know which window it's in, but I'll try to find it. I have no idea which window it's in. How many windows do I have open? I don't think it was here. There's nothing there. I have no idea where it came from. But I heard something. I apologies. This is not cool. Like, but I'm working, you're working, right? I'm trying to like get through. I'm gonna close out some tabs so that if I get a notification in my ear, I can actually have some idea of where it's at. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Let me do this. All right. We are rocking and rolling. We are rocking and rolling. I don't. Trying to see. So this is awesome. Hey, apparently I got people viewing on Kick. Hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right, I think we're all set. I still don't know where the noise came from, the notification came from. But what could possibly go wrong, right? So here we are. We're back. I have an application that's up and running. It's running on 8080. I'm using Java 21. And the one thing I want to go and check is like, hey, localhost 8080. Like, what's here? Now, I kind of want my documentation here. Or /docs. Pink Emma, thanks for hanging out. I've been kind of like scatterbrained a little bit this morning, but this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stream every day. And at the end of the stream, there's this event pubsub where I can subscribe, and when any one of these events happens, when there's a new video or a video title is updated or a video description is updated, then I'm going to get an event that looks like this if I subscribe, right? So I'm going to subscribe to my channel, and when I'm hopefully, at some point when I'm done streaming or other, I'm going to get an event here that I can do stuff with. That's it. I'm going to subscribe to this pubsub for my channel, hopefully. Then I'm going to have a listener, and that's what I'm building right now. So this is YouTube. They're going to call my little listener that's going to live at this URL. They're going to send me some Atom. That's what I'm building. And in the process, I want to like do some of the smart things, like have an actuator, some of those production ready things. So this is an error because it was supposed to be a post. There's no Git mapping on that URL, but I do have this that says, hey, I'm up and healthy. And I think I should have this as well. And I don't. And why? I expected to see, maybe there's something else I need to add. I expected to see my build info there. Problem details. So let me do this. I'm grabbing just some other properties that I'm just grabbing from another project. And I don't want that. Management endpoint. Yeah, I want that. Endpoint info enabled. I want that. So how come I did not get my info endpoint? So, Pingama, I have not had to really consume APIs except for TwitchBot. Now suddenly I have 3 projects. There you go. Like, I get it. That's what's happening. So what happened here? Oh, maybe it reloaded because I got my dev tools going. Yeah, like this is what we do. So I'm gonna consume, and then yeah. So this project that I'm working on now. It's on the YouTube side, but I also did the Twitch. It's not a bot, the metrics exporter. I'm sorry that you hate it. Maybe I can help you out a little bit, right? By some of these, I've been doing this for a while. Maybe you hang around and you pick up some things, but tell me what you hate. Like, tell me what problems you're running into. I've got no agenda. I have no schedule. I'm just here I'm here for you, really. So if you're stuck on something, if you can, share where you're stuck. And let's see if we can figure it out. Maybe I incorporate it into what we're doing. And yeah, we do it for real. But yeah, I'm here to help. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm sorry that you hate what you're working on. I would love to be able to help you get through it. Well, good. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel wonderful that you're picking up stuff. So I'll just keep on going then. Like maybe you'll pick up something else. So I've enabled this. I am going to stop this for a sec, and I'm going to look at my Palm, because what I expected that I would get my build info. Is there something else that I needed to do? What is this? Did I do something wrong here? It says something is wrong according to my schema, but it's because of this. So I'm going to peek at another project. And what I did here was I did the ASCII Doctor Maven plugin first. Oh, wait. It's this right here. I'm going to move this. I did the ASCII Doctor Maven plugin. Boom, boom. Then I've got the GraalVM plugin. And I've got the Maven Resources plugin. I don't need this. Copy resources, project builds, static. I put it at docs. That's cool. Generated docs. Oh, and then I'm missing plugin. Plugin, Spring Boot Maven plugin with the build info. And that might be why my build info didn't show up. And then last, I'm not going to do the Java format plugin. So that might be why it didn't show up. So let's restart it. Let's hit this button. Please. Hello. Let's do this again. So Pink Emma says, I hate authentication. I hate dealing with tokens, JWTs, all that jazz. Even more so because one of my API has to authenticate to a government agency and they're super unhelpful. I get it. So this, yeah, hang out, like join, like share, like dump, all that kind of stuff. Because I say me and Anand and Josh, we have been struggling-ish. We made some headway. I'll say that. We made some headway where yesterday, the YouTube API, you can connect with an API client ID and you can get some access, but some of the stuff that I want as a part of this pipeline, some of the stuff I have to have a OAuth 2 user token, or I have to have a server-side web app token that knows how to do automatic refresh, right? So these types of OAuth 2 workflow, now here's the thing, I don't have the answers. I don't. I wish I could. I'm trying to get those reps so I can have it kind of top of mind in that hot cache. I don't right now. So that's why I'm practicing. That's why I'm doing these things. And when I get stuck, when I get to that point where I feel not embarrassed to ask for help. I'll reach out to my friends that know this way better than I do. And yeah, the guys on the Spring team. Are you using Spring? Because if you're using Spring security, Spring authorization server for some of these things, then I know I can help you. Maybe not at this moment, but I know if you stick around, I'll reach out and we'll have an example that you might be able to use and find helpful. Let's get through it. So yeah, I get it. So based on what I see, are they using OAuth? No Spring, no boot. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get it. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We'll get there and we'll work through it. I don't have all the answers. And of course, all the documentations for web apps and assuming you can hold secrets. Oof. Oh boy. I get it. So on that note, the example that I did yesterday, this idea, yeah, Spring has been popping up more and more because it's awesome, right? So here's the thing. Josh really explained it real well. Like Spring and Java, at this point in time, like where we are today, has made leaps and bounds. Like there's never been as much improvement around Spring and Java as there has been right now. We have all of these cool things like we've had for a little bit. We have these native images. We have Project Crack, coordinated, restore at checkpoint. We have virtual threads. And we also have this class data sharing. Like these runtime efficiencies that are making Spring even more powerful and more valuable. And again, remember, like the project that I'm doing right now is going to be deployed on a $15 Raspberry Pi, ARM64 Raspberry Pi. And I'm going to take my Spring workload and I'm going to deploy it here. And I'm going to get all the production benefits and all of the awesome developer experience things. And I'm going to deploy it here. So it is awesome. I wouldn't lie to you. I consider you a friend. I wouldn't lie to you. Spring is amazing. It's an amazing option if you want to be on the happy train, right? I'm not meaning to pick on you, but one of the reasons that Emma is hating this API work is because of this. She doesn't have all of the abstraction handling that Spring provides, so it's just harder. And even if you're doing right the local stuff, right? Even if you're doing the local stuff, like the Spring shell, like the CLI, like you can do these things and all of those kind of the things that you would expect, the things that you would run into. The Spring team has seen it, right? They're working with orgs all over the world and they're identifying the patterns that modern apps are being developed with. And then they're putting an abstraction layer over it so that you can use it, like Spring AI, right? Everybody's hearing about Spring AI, and now the Spring team has created a Spring AI project. So you get, if you're familiar with Spring Data, this is my mapping, right? Spring Data does this. Right? Spring Data is kind of like an umbrella over Spring Data JPA. I'll do it this way. Spring Data JDBC. Spring Data Redis, but you have this like umbrella over, and it's got conventions so that whether you're using Oracle or Redis or Mongo, you have this convention and this abstraction, this pattern, you don't really care. You can switch between your data tier without a lot of uplift, without any of like the hard-coded, low-level stuff. And Spring AI is doing kind of the same thing. So you can plug into, right, Open AI, Azure Open AI, Bedrock, like whatever. But you get this easy to use abstraction over the top, so you can just get your work done. You don't have to deal with the low level stuff because the Spring team is dealing with that for you. So you can have more joy when you're doing your development. That's what we're here for, right? So you're right. Spring is popping up, and it's because the Spring team is absolutely amazing. And yeah, and it's a fun place to be. I literally, I'm betting my life on it. I've staked my career on Spring. I am a Spring developer advocate. This is my everything. This is my livelihood. This is everything I do. I believe in it that much. And I wouldn't lie to you. Like this is where I'm at. Fun fact, like I made this video. I want you to go watch it. I made this video. This video I made a couple years ago before I worked on the Spring team. But you can go and watch it here. I want you to go watch it. I'm here at your service. I don't need to repeat it all, but I want you to go watch that on javagrunt.com. Click on the about and go watch that video. So Pink Emma says, I did eventually crack the authentication with a tiny bit of help from the API supplies and my good friend and coworker ChatGPT. My good friend and coworker ChatGPT. I like that. I'm going to put that up here. So yeah. So now here's the thing. Emma, I want you to think about this. This is what I'm working on with Anand. The YouTube starter. That's who I was working on this. This idea that, right, you can use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is old. You have this process, RAG, and it's called, I forget what it stands for. Resource Assisted? What does RAG stand for? What does RAG stand for with AI? Retrieval Augmented Generation. So the idea, like you're asking for steps, we're asking for steps, but ChatGPT is old. So I might plug into a model, and then I might feed it my content, my source code, like I'm doing here. Like, remind me of how I do Spring REST docs. Remind me of how I do native images or whatever it is. But I can take one of these large language models and I can feed it my own content and have it generate output for me. That's more specific. That's not in the public domain, for example. Yeah, we'll get there real soon. So yeah, and even just searching for information always takes you to Spring. So finding other solutions is really hard to Google and search for. I get it. And I have to admit, as long as I can avoid it, I will not make web apps because it ain't fun. All right, like that's cool. This is a safe place. Like, just let it out. If you're frustrated, you can let it out here. I want you to enjoy what you do. I want everybody to enjoy what they do. There's plenty of stuff. There's plenty of options. So let's keep going. For me, right? You can love it all you want. I don't judge that, right? Honestly, I don't like making front ends. I'm deploying these services, right? This Spring Boot handler, it's not going to have a front end. I'm not making UI. That's not me. And if I do make a UI, I'm going to use this. Like holler, Lawrence, I'm going to use start.button. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to have it generate a front end for me, and then I'll plug it in. I can do that. That's my jam right there. We'll get to that later. So let's keep on going. We're here. We're doing rest assured. I added this. I fixed my POM, and I'm hoping now that I have an endpoint that gives me info. And I don't. Why not? Why not? Hey, hello. How are you? Welcome. Today we're working on a Spring Boot. We're going to connect to the YouTube pubsub. We're going to subscribe to it. And when we subscribe, we're going to give it a URL. And when we have a YouTube event, according to the documentation, when we have one of these events, if I upload a video or update a video title or description, I should get to my URL, I should get one of these things and add them that describes that event. And that's what we're doing. But before I get there, I was trying to make sure that I'm getting some of the expectations here. So I'm going to stop this that's running, and I'm going to try to run it from over here, because I think it's because of my Spring Boot Maven plugin. Hey, wonderful. Like, yeah, like this is great. So yeah, hang in. I'll try to think out loud. I'm going to this project. My info endpoint wasn't working. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to build it from the command line, mvnw, and I'm going to run mvnw spring boot :run. And I'm still not certain that this is going to do it. I know it will if maybe it will. So we're here. It started up. Now I'm going to check that again, because that definitely ran the Spring Boot migrator or the Spring Boot Maven plugin. And there it is. So the Spring Boot Maven plugin is the key. But here, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that version info. So I can see the artifact and the name. That's good. Did I do that right? No, I didn't, because I didn't follow my conventions. I should have done project-name. And now if I run that again, my name will be the right convention. It does all the things. I refresh, there it is, the name. But I also want to change that. So we'll get it. So I've been working with Josh, and he's kind of got me to change some of my default settings. So here we are. Yeah, here we are. Okay, cool. That worked. I found out my issue. Everything is plugged in. Now let's get back to creating these Spring REST docs. All right, so we're over here. This is closed. Don't need this. Don't need this. We're in the docs, and we're going to have these. Our tests are going to generate our documentation. Oh, and look at this. I bought some Raspberry Pi Zeros and a cluster hat after your stream yesterday. Got inspired to set up a home lab. Like, fantastic. So this is the deal. I hope you bought Raspberry Pi 2s. Right, that's the thing. They need to be 2s, because Raspberry Pi Zero is a 32-bit, and you won't be able to run Kubernetes and the native images on it. So fingers crossed. I hope that was clear. And I'm going to go back and look, and I hope I made that clear in my here. Yeah, 02s. 02 or 02W. But this is what we're talking about. A Raspberry Pi with a cluster hat, and then 4 02s or 02Ws on top. And then you can have Kubernetes running. And actually, I have one of those. I have one of those here. I'll show you. Clear. If I show you kubectx, the list of my clusters, I have cluster hat 00. I have multiple of those clusters. But if I go to kubectx, cluster. I just moved it, so I hope it's still working. And I'm switched, and now kubectl get nodes dash o wide. Right? So this is the main node, and then these are the child boards here. So it's working, like fantastic. So it's connected to the VPN, but it's on a different physical subnet. I'm just happy that it worked. So awesome. I'm gonna switch back to my K3D Juice, my local laptop. Oh boy, I think, well, double check. The zeros are cool too, but I'm actually giving away my Raspberry Pi Zeros as I find them. I've got a big mess behind me. You may be able to see some of the stuff right there. Like I got a mess. I got a whole bunch of boxes and projects that I'm doing. And hey, no, not black screen. I apologize. Let's get over here. Like, hey, here we are. Hopefully that works. We're building stuff. I jumped over to the terminal to show my Kubernetes cluster, and now I'm back. I'm back in the IDE. Hopefully that makes us all feel better. Pink Emma said, I wish, though it might exist, Spring Actuator had a nice log output that was easily accessible to the Spring app. Whilst I'm loud about hating it and not liking it, I do have 2 Spring apps somehow. So what you want to see is like an endpoint that you could go to see like the tail of your logs. That might be interesting. I don't know that I've ever done that. But now that I think about it, it might exist. Let's go take a look. I'm not sure. I've never done that. But let's go take a look. Spring. Production ready features, monitoring, loggers. So I know we can modify our logs. So we can configure the loggers, but I don't know that we can see our logs from the actuator endpoint. So what I'm doing, and what this example is doing, is I'm taking it straight from Jonathan, right? We can have our logs spit out, and this is the way that I think about things. So this is what I've been saying. So in my little region, as you do things, this is what I think. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I think. If you deliver something, some web app, and you get to production, you don't care where it's running, different regions. What I expect is I expect to have a couple of things. Logs. Metrics. Tracing. For sure, right? You want a place where you can go and get that. Now, I don't know if it's the actuator is the right place for that, because I've got multiple services, and I want to like check out logs. How do you sync them? If I'm doing it this way, if I have all of my logs going to a single service, right, like this, service A, service B, then I can do this. So here's the thing. The 0 will work. You won't be able to run Kubernetes, I don't believe. You'll be able to do the cluster hat thing, and you'll have a cluster, but you won't be able to deploy Kubernetes to it, because Kubernetes needs the operating system to do the container pieces, those little jails that it creates, and I don't believe you'll be able to do that with a 32-bit kernel. Now that I say that out loud, that might be worth, you know what, like I can do that experiment. Watch this. I have this Raspberry Pi Zero that I'm giving to Robotech, And it should be right. Where is it? Robotech, where did I put your Raspberry? Is this yours? Hold on. I can do this experiment, and it shouldn't take any time at all. Let me take a peek here. This is a Raspberry Pi 02. I have a Raspberry Pi. I wonder if my kids took it. Oh, actually, it might be packed up already. Robotech. Let me think here. I think. Hold on, give me one sec. I think I can do this. Pink Gamma, I might be thinking too small for Spring as my instances are self-contained that get a few hundred hits per hour, but launching have workloads outside of Java. Yeah, no, it's not too small. Like, instead of having it on the actuator endpoint, my view is great because when your apps, like when your logs get to like this, it gets to be hard to handle. So by default, I think that I want this. I want you to want this. I want you, when you go to production, whether you're in, data center A or data center B or cloud, X, whatever, you don't want to have to chase around and figure out where are all the logs. When you deliver something to production, you want one spot to go find your logs, metrics, and tracing. You want to be able to deliver your thresholds and configure alerting. Like, that's not too much to ask. So for me, like, if you're gonna run on my platform, this is what I want to deliver. I want to deliver something like this so that we're gonna figure out, we're gonna send all of our logs to Loki, which is an open source tool that you can send your logs to. And I will do that for each tenant. It's okay. Like, this is how small I'm thinking. I need all this stuff to work on these devices. So 100 hits per minute, like, I get it, right? This thing that I'm working on, this is not gonna get anywhere near that. It's not gonna get 100 hits per minute. I still want logs, I still want metrics, I still want tracing, but it's gonna get 1 hit per day. Right? So that's not too small for Spring Boot. This application is gonna get 1 hit per day, but I still want all of the production ready things, right? I still want all of the production ready things, right? Production ready features. I want to be production. I want to go. I want to have these things. So I'm going to enable it. And in this app, it's going to go and it's going to do some really cool things. It's going to scale to 0. Because it is only going to be hit once per day. When it's not busy, it'll shut down. Let me show you an example of that, right? If I'm here, I'm looking at K9s. This is on my laptop. And you'll see here that there's no namespace running for Deshawn-IO. But if you go to, and you've got to do this, you've got to go to intro.deshawn.io. Somebody that's watching that can, I need you to do this. Hold on one sec. HTTPS intro.deshawn.io. And if you go hit that URL, I'm not going to do it. Somebody else has to do it. You're going to connect to my little Kubernetes cluster that's running these services, and it should stand up, and we should be able to see it scale up. So somebody, I want somebody to go here, HTTPS intro.deshawn.io. Please, somebody hit that so that we can stand it up. There it is. So somebody hit it, it stands up, they got a response that tells them how many days I've been working in this job, and if nobody else hits it, after 30 seconds, it'll scale down. Just like this other project. So it's running here, it's deployed, but it's not eating up any resources when it's not being used. It gets a request, it stands up, and then it shuts down. So if we wait for this to hit 30 seconds, it'll start to terminate. Maybe. Or maybe multiple people have hit it. I think that's how it's set up, is 30 seconds. But at some point, when it's not taking traffic, it'll scale back down to 0, as it should, because it's not being used. These are the cool production ready Spring Boot, like Kubernetes native stuff. Like we understand, oh, so now there's more traffic, so it's scaled out even more. So as more people hit it, it's scaling up to adjust to the demand. Fantastic. That's what we want. I want to be able to auto scale. Yeah, hit it a bunch of times and now they're terminating. It's done. Like so. It's like, hey, I get it. I don't need all of those instances up. Let me scale back down. And there it is. Oh, it scales. Hey, it's handling it. And because it's a native image, right? It's a tiny little image that I built with Spring Boot. I did the native compilation. It's running on ARM64. It can stand up, and it only takes milliseconds to stand up, and then it shuts down when it's not being used. So it's going to scale up to meet demand, right? I've got a pretty beefy box, and I can handle these kinds of requests. I have it scaling up. Let me show you, right? This is all transparent in the open, but right now we've scaled down. So all of these instances are terminating. Fantastic. That was a great little demo, but this is exactly what we're going to do. Continue. I want to make those disappear. I want to see those shut all the way down. I want you to see that I'm getting all of that resource back. They're not running. Cool. That one was running for 2 minutes and 18 seconds, and now it's disappearing. I'm going to give it a sec, like, so you can just see. Yeah, now completely gone. I get all of my compute back, right? Boop. Yeah, hit it a bunch of times. That's cool. It says, okay, you're a good advocate. You almost rousing something. Like, yay! Like, fantastic. We're here together. That makes me happy. That makes this all worth it. So what I've done, Spring Boot makes it easy. It makes it easy to live in Kubernetes. This is on my laptop, but I'm also doing it on Raspberry Pis, these simple, small computers. I saw your spot. I think, oh, it said not working with 02. Interesting. It does work with 02, but let's find out. It was in there. I had in my thing, I said the version, the v2.5. So hopefully we'll get out. But here, I'm here. I'm going to help you. I want you to get through this. And if there's zeros, cool. We'll figure it out. But I'll do that experiment. As soon as I find a 0, I might have to go. I'll do the experiment and I'll do it with you. So we'll see. We'll see together. But yeah, all of the things that I did. So the way that actually, it might not be deployed. I do it here, github.com, Deshaun-cloud. This is where my platform figures things out. And I've got this flux control, and I've got these tenants. And one of those tenants is Deshaun-io. And that points to this other repository, right? This is the way I think of things. This is my convention, Deshaun-io. Here, I have the intro here. So here's the application. I believe that's the one that's deployed. And here is the configuration that I've given. I said, hey, activation, when you get a response, give me 3 instances, right? And if you get more than 1 response per second, give me 3 more. The window is 15 seconds. Max is 100. I want at most 100 of these instances. Deploy this version. This is the configuration that I've set, right? I have it set here for demonstration purposes. You probably wouldn't use those same numbers, but it's here. It's all open. So this repository, you can go, and if you're playing with Knative serving on a Raspberry Pi or a cluster of Raspberry Pis, you can do this too. You can do these exact same things. Spring Boot is awesome. Kubernetes is cool. But for me, with the way I'm deploying things, I've got Kubernetes on Raspberry Pis and Nooks, different architectures, different operating systems. but I have Kubernetes as the abstraction over my infrastructure. It provides an API for my apps. I've got Spring Boot that is an abstraction over all the hard stuff, all the stuff that Pingema doesn't like, that I don't like. So I've got these nice abstractions so I can just get to the stuff that I want to get to, connect the dots, and I can move on. I can smile. That's what I want you to do. So here we are. I want you to be excited. I want you to, yeah, get excited about doing things. That makes me feel good. So let's keep on going with these production ready features. Your idea about logs, I don't think I can do that. But it's something to think about. I've got a pattern for the logs, and I'm following Jonathan's using Loki, and that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna have a place for my logs, so I don't have to go to each service in order to see my logs. I'm gonna have one spot, and I can filter by the services. That's what I'm gonna do. So cool. Let's keep on going. What I wanna do next, hey, that's cool. Let's jump back into the code. We're doing stuff. Thank you for being here. We're building this. We're building a Spring Boot handler, but I'm trying to put in the production things. I'm trying to put in the things that might make it more valuable to you when it's running in production. So we're here. Let me go back to the IDE. I want to generate some of these docs, right? So I've stopped it. I can close that. Let's go back to our documentation because I want to generate these snippets. This is cool. So it's going to end up in static docs. Spring uses test framework, test client, or rest assured to make requests. Setting up your test, exactly how you set up your test depends on the test framework you use. Cool. JUnit 5 is recommended. Other frameworks such as TestNG are all supported, although slightly more setup is required. So setting up your JUnit 5 tests. When using JUnit 5, the first step in generating documentation snippets is to apply the REST documentation extension to your test class. The following example shows you how to do so. When testing a typical Spring application, you should also apply the Spring extension. Okay. I'm going to just keep on reading. The REST documentation extension is automatically configured with an output directory based on your project's build tool. Okay. If you're using JUnit 5.1, you can override the default by registering the extension as a field in your test class and providing an output directory when creating it. The following example shows you how to do so. Okay. Now you must provide a before each method to configure mock MVC or web test client or rest assured. The following listings show you how to do so. So I'm going to peek over here at an example from that image service. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a web layer test. Actually, I'm just going to copy this and we'll use that to start. Copy. I'm going to be deleting a lot of stuff because the test that I'm looking at uses mock MVC. We're not going to use mock MVC. We're not testing this. We are testing YouTube controller. This is exactly like it said. I have some, we're not doing mock MVC. Excuse me. And yeah, we're gonna set up slightly different. So I'm gonna grab this one for rest assured. Actually, I'm gonna grab this whole thing. Yeah, let's import that. Fantastic. So now we should be set up, right? We're here in the docs. We're moving forward. And now that's it. So now we want to do our test, right? We did that. Wait. Oh, that's for JUnit 4. Let's keep on going. Now let's invoke the RESTful service. Now that you've configured the testing framework, you can use it to invoke the RESTful service and document the request and response. The following example shows you how to do so. Well, let's copy that. That sounds great. And let's throw it into a test. So let's do this. And this is where we're doing our test. So we're going to have this should return success, right? Should return success. Or I'm going to say post. Should return success. I'm going to throw this in here. Rest assured, given this spec here, accept application. Now, this is interesting. This is going to be Atom, right? I don't know. Looking at this, I don't know what headers they're going to send. But this I know is Atom. So I think this is it, right? I like this song. Here we are. We're going to keep on going and filter. What is this? Why is this? Yeah, import that. Filter document. Oh, that's my document, which we haven't put in place yet. When post to slash. So I'm putting my docs at /docs and on the root. Is this the right way I want to do it? What I was doing before, what I've done in the past is I put the docs at the root. So if you went here to this URL, like I did with image service, right? Here at the root of image service, I have the docs. I have the static documentation that matches and tells you how to do it. And then the endpoints are where you have your functions, where you have your stuff. I'm open to feedback. Like, what would you expect? You know, is /docs, is that common? I'm just trying to think of in the past. I don't know why I put it at the root. I think I put it at the root just because I was showing off REST docs. But would this make sense to you if on this service, like, yeah, Dan, I feel so lucky. Like, thanks for hanging out. So Dan, I'm gonna ask you, since you're here, thank you for hanging out. I'm generating this, and which you'll appreciate. When I make a YouTube video, I'm going to subscribe to this YouTube data. And anytime that I upload a video or video title or description, I'm going to get this feed that comes back. I'm going to get this Atom, Atom XML for the event. I'm going to subscribe to that event. Sorry. I'm going to subscribe to that event, and I'm going to give it this URL, and it's going to call this, class that I'm building. But I want to have the documentation. I want to be able to describe what this thing does when it's running in production. And I'm wondering, where should I put my docs? Because I know that I'm going to have my actuator, right? My actuator info. I don't want my docs on the actuator, right? Because I might hide that stuff if I was, doing this for real. I might not want my actuator stuff exposed. But my question is, should I put it at the end of docs or off of the root? Maybe I'll just leave it at docs. So then the API, my handler, and this is a simple service. My handler is just going to be at the root. That's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do. So for this service, here at the root, this is where the post is going to be, and Spring REST docs will be here. Make sense? So this is, my documentation is going to be generated. It'll live at /docs. So when I deploy to production, I'll have my actuator endpoint with all the info and the version. It's going to be listening on the root. I like it at docs. Start there. If things don't make sense later, you can always move it. Yeah, we can always move it. Right? We're flexible. Thanks. I appreciate that. So here's what we're doing. So it's going to be at docs. Right now we're building our test, and we're gonna send in some stuff. So if I post here, then validate the response, assert that status code is 200. Is it this one? Let me just double check to make sure. Maybe not. I hope that's right. But let's get rid of these. And this test should work. So if I post, I have to have a post body, right? Here, do I have an example with a post? So I don't have a rest assured example on the post. So here's the get using the snippets. So here's what I need. So I need to have source main ASCII-doc. I need to have a document so I can put this code into that I'm generating. Oh wait, here. So we'll get there in a sec. So we're building a snippet called index. And let's just run. What is this going to do right now? I call the post. It failed. And why? Why did it fail? Connection refused. What? Why? Why? When I did this spec, I have this. How come my connection is refused? Oh, is it because of this? Let's do this. Let me just check. Actually, let me just take this out. Let's see. Unlikely. So let's see. So it says connection refused. So am I not listening proper? When I start up this YouTube controller, I expect to be listening on that root. I'm following the docs. This is what should be happening. Request spec builder. So I built the spec. So given this, do I need to have this here? So let me make sure that I'm putting these other bits in place. So this doesn't really say that. So it says, hey, I'm doing this document index, and this is going to say, oh, so it's going to generate output, so I don't need to use it. But that's where it's putting it. So I don't have to have my ASCII-doc yet. And we're just following the guide. So we're going to keep on going. This is where we're going to add the snippets. So I'm going to do these. I'm just going to keep on going. Yeah, rest assured is not able to reach anything. So I'm going to keep on going here and figure out if I'm connecting the dots or if I'm doing something wrong. Because I know I need this source main ASCII-doc. and I'm going to plug in an index, new file, index.adoc. Hello. Sure, like add that. I don't know how it works all together, Spring Web. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're absolutely gonna figure it out. Because I've done this example with the mock MVC part, with the mock MVC approach, but I wanna use rest assured, and I wanna use rest assured because I'm gonna generate this into a native image. And I've got a pattern that works with rest assured. It doesn't work with mock MVC. With rest assured, I'll show you. With rest assured, so I can test that. Then I can build native image. With rest assured, I can take those tests and I can run the exact same tests like I do here, my slice. I can run that exact same slice against the JVM when I'm doing my local development. But then also, when I do my integration tests, I can run it against a native image. So as a part of my path to production, excuse me, I can run my integration tests that builds the native image and runs the exact same tests to validate native image works the same as unit. Right? That's why I'm using rest assured. That's why we're here. I've done it before. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Wasn't there a rest assured mock MVC adapter? Yes. So the rest docs mock MVC. So that's what I have this example of, is where I was using mock MVC. And that, we know how to use Spring REST docs. That's this example over here that's deployed at image-service springofficehours.io. Oh, you know what? And you know why I do this? So I was just reminded, I'm glad that I noticed that, because over here, I'm using Cloudflare and Knative Serving, and in order to get my certificates, this is gonna have to be this. Fun fact. So in order to be simple, I can only have that one level above my root domain, above my tenant domain. To Putsy, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm gonna do this for a little bit longer. Let me check my calendar. Oh, I got logged out for some reason. Oh, that's scary. Please hold. I'm just gonna check my calendar, make sure I've got enough time. It'd be nice to finish what I'm working on. Can I do this? Ooh. What just happened? All right. I have time, so I'm gonna keep on going. So we'll figure it out. I'm sure that there's an example that we'll get to. I'm not sure why that. I'm gonna step back. Did I do everything right? It looks like I'm doing everything right. Oh wait, sorry, I'm in the wrong. Look at the wrong one. So this is what it says to do. That's exactly what I did. Set up 724 days. That is right. That is exactly right. And that number takes into account the actual start time of when I started working on that first day, and that service is there because this number is wrong. Right? It hasn't been a full 725 days yet. It's only been 724 days. That endpoint is right. And because you hit that, that was hitting here, and there was. Now it's scaling back down to 0. So that's what we're doing. It worked. So yeah, we're coming up on the anniversary. I'll tell you that. We're coming up on the anniversary. So I don't know why this is not running, but now I've got an index, which really shouldn't matter. It's going to generate that snippet. This says connection refused. I expect it to stand up because I'm doing the web MVC test with this controller. I expect it to stand up just that part of my application. And I'm not sure why it's not, but we'll keep on going here. What I'm trying to do is get my test working, get a test working before I move on. It might be an IP port. So that's one thing that I know I had to do in the past was I had to like give it, let me see if I have anything else set up over here. I had to set up like that server port stuff. But by default, oh, you know what? I'm looking, do I have any? No, I don't. So I don't have it defined anywhere else, but that's a good thought. So let's look here. Does it tell me? So it says, hey, it started, it's got a process ID, but it doesn't tell me which port, right? So in my output, I don't see which port. So let's try it this way. It's doing its things. And I apologize if I'm not keeping up. What I'm going to do is, instead of doing a web MVC test, I'm just going to do a Spring Boot test. Start up the whole app. We're just going to test the web layer. Let's see if that works. No? I want to peek. Still don't say. Still says connection refused. Okay. Do I have anything else running? Could that be the problem? Let's get out of here. You need to tell rest assured how to reach the server. All right, let's look up rest Spring Boot rest assured. No, I don't like this. I don't like those guides. Let's go here. That makes sense. Okay, here, when this, then this. Here we, oh, you know what? I don't think did I add? So remember the docs? I don't know if I did this. Remember the docs said here, I feel like I did. We had to add rest assured 5.2. Did I ever do that? I must have, right? Oh yeah, I added 5.2.1. Okay, cool. Let's go back here. Getting started. Cool. Here. Like, let's keep on going. Let's see if we can find an example. Yeah, just get. I feel like oh, you know what? I have another example too. Let me go check one more spot, right? Because I've got all these other projects around places. Oh, I think I moved it. I think I have an example somewhere where I'm using rest assured. Oh, look, I put the docs into /docs, maybe? Or no, that's what gets published. Let's see. I did a random port, and then I grabbed that port. But I'm using the web test client. Okay. So yeah, Deputsi, if you have an example, do you want to throw it into Discord? That might. I'm happy to take help. So here's what we got. We're saying, hey, REST documentation extension, Spring extension. We're doing the web MVC test. And that's the same thing that I did in this other project that was using mock MVC. Doesn't have to be public, right? I'm gonna check to see over here. Stream chat, rest assured. Let's take a look. All right, bootstrapping rest assured, mock MVC. I'm not using rest assured mock MVC. I'm trying to just use rest assured. So yeah. Yep. So that's how you get the mock MVC instance. Yeah. So I'm doing a slightly different pattern. Thank you for that. But I'm trying to move from the mock MVC to just rest assured, because that's the only, I believe that's the only way I'm going to be able to do this and use the exact same tests against my native image. So yeah. So I'm going to try to jump back here. Oops, I got some other, I've been missing some messages. Please hold. Awesome. So Anand's making some progress. So far, so good. And here we go. All right, so let's get back. I know there's somebody's gonna figure that out and configure rest assured. So I shouldn't. This server in my test, I should be able to do this with this WebMVC test. What I should be doing is standing up my web controller because of this, which it looks like it's doing. Started with their test. But yeah, there's some things happening here. You know what? Let's try this. Let's do it. Watch this. Let's try a different test. Maybe I'm doing something. Get actuator. Let's see this. Rest assured on this spec. Nope, didn't like that either. So it's not doing something. So what am I thinking here? I'm missing something. Yeah, not a mock environment and configure rest assured how to reach. Hey, awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Thanks for the tips. I'll figure it out. I'll get noodled around it. I got to adjust my thinking to rest assured from the mock MVC approach that I've done in the past. So I'll figure that out. I'll keep on plugging. I'm gonna go back here, and you know what? I'll bet you there's a sample. I'll bet you there's a sample. Check this. All right, we extend this. Let's do this. So we're not doing a slice here. We're staying at the full deal here. We're adding this. This will work. Yep. So the thing is, like, the Spring team, right, especially Andy, like, they want us to be successful, right? They want us to be successful. Here, this documentation spec, request builder, add filter. We did the same thing, and let's just grab this, right? Just like you were saying. You said it. You knew what was going on. Let me add some of these static methods. Ooh, rest assured, not given. Process request. Yep. When here, yeah, so this should work. So I got, yeah, oh, this should work. Hey. Took says, hello, hello. What do you think of the future of native mobile dev? Yeah, who knows? I'll just tell you, I'm not an expert in that. That's not my space. So I said my space. I'm a back-end guy. So what I've done in the past was I didn't do native dev. I used Ionic, and then I had Ionic deliver to Windows, Android, iOS, and web. Right? From one code base, I just was building for the different stores. But I had a consistent UI, I had a consistent experience, and then the back end, right? The back end services, backed by gateway. Hello. Made the distinctions, right? So if I needed to do custom stuff for different endpoints, they would call. And I could, if I needed to, I could call different things. Based on the client. So I did run into like the issues with like the camera. Right? The different things, you didn't get all the latest and greatest features from the new devices. Because your framework has to make an abstraction that's going to work across everything. I get it. But for me and the projects that I do, it was worth it to go this way. I used Ionic with Angular, yep. And today, so this is in the past. Today, switch out Ionic, use Vaadin. Because Ionic, I still had to have like an Angular expert. David was still having to do a lot of stuff there. With Vaadin, my Spring Boot folks, my Spring-centric folks, we can deliver a UI. Again, it's got abstractions, so it's going to work in all the places. But we can deliver some really interesting and cool enough for an MVP UIs. And then maybe later, if we decide that we need all the custom features on the latest devices, we'll go to native for certain features. But otherwise, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm not the person that's, doing native mobile development. Fun fact, I know how to get Spring Boot deployed natively to devices. So that's always awesome. But the UI wise, it's going to continue to expand, right? The mobile devices are now fancy phones that you can also make phone calls on, or they're fancy cameras that you can also make phone calls on. But like, I was doing development when we were moving from web first to mobile first, and I still think mobile first is the way to go. But for me, I'm not deploying these things to mobile devices. I'm not putting apps in the App Store at the moment. So even though I'm still thinking mobile first, I'm doing hybrid. Right? I'm doing single page app, hybrid mobile approach. I don't need to go there yet. But yeah, I've got other folks that might be able to help out. You got questions on that, but yeah, I don't have super strong opinions. I know that the stuff that I'm doing with Vaadin and with Spring Boot, it's going to work on mobile phones. It's going to give me the functionality that I need. I'm not missing anything out by not being native Android, native iOS. Not yet. But maybe that'll come. So that's where I'm at. Not really a great answer. let's keep on going. Did I rerun this? Let's try to rerun that. I expect this to work. It still says yellow. Like what's that? Found registering current config. It's initializing. I have a port, and now it says dispatching. I got a 406. What's a 406? Not acceptable response. What? For /accurate or accept text plain. My response is JSON. There we go. All right, so now we have a test. We have our stuff working. Now we know how to do this. So here we are giving this back. Filter, document, index. We can do this. We know where it's going to live. It's going to live at, what did I say? YouTube-listener.javagrunt.com. Do I have extras? Okay. When we post to this, then assert that status code is 200. Cool. I don't really need to generate my docs, but maybe that'd be cool. We're going to leave it there just because YouTube-listener.javagrunt.com, just to show examples. So I'm going to get some snippets called health. I'm going to get snippets called index. But maybe I should. I'm going to change this to listen. And I'm going to change this to listen. And this one should work. Right, this one should work now, right? Only because we did this part. Wait, where did I use this port? There we go. This I expect to work now. Run, and we're going to generate documentation out of these tests. Oh, it did not. It said, what? It started up. Oh, but it got a 400 error. It got a 400. Why? So let's post. Let's put some data in there. Let's go back here. We're body. Okay, let's keep on going. I'm gonna go back and we're gonna keep plugging in. So just trying to generate some docs, have some tests for this application that we're doing. It's taken a little bit longer than I expected to, but that's okay. I'm here to help. Hopefully you're learning something. I'm definitely learning. I'm trying to get reps in and practice. So here, we're not messing with the actuator right now. I'm going to close some tabs, bring myself back. So this is a Git. We're going to go down here to documenting your API, and we're going to do request response payloads. No, I want to see a post. Because my type is going to be XML. Describes how to work with XML payloads. We'll get there. So this is an opportunity for me to maybe contribute some documentation, which would be awesome. Let's just do a stop post. So here we posted a form parameter, multi-part. So I don't know how these are going to be submitted. I just know I have to listen. Right? This spec does not tell me how this is going to be submitted. Is there a spec? Server pub subscribe protocol, HTTP webhooks, but it doesn't. I don't know which headers are coming. Is it just going to be a body? We'll see. So let's get it running. Let's get our test. I want to make this work. I want to pass in something. Oops, I was over here. I want to pass in something. Not a multi-part file. Oh, what did I do here? I'm going to follow this example. So in image service, where I just pass in content text plane. Let's see if that works. Right, and let me go over to our image service where I had this example. And how did I pass in? Custom, here we go. Post.content. Maybe? No. Content type. I'm trying to figure out, so given this here, not multi-part, not a form param. So something here, dot body. let's just grab this for now. Don't judge me. Oops, let's do it this way. Is it like this? How do I do the multi-line string? Quote. All right, so the example event is my body. So let's try this again. Given this, let's try that. See what it does. Fantastic. So it's like, hey, yeah, cool. I received it. I got it. We're in good shape now. So now I got a test. It says we're good. It returned a 200 response. I like this. So now we got to get deployed, right? Because I want to run a test against their service, and I've got to get this deployed. Let me check the time. Do a little time check here. I'm supposed to be in a town hall. This is canceled. This event. What is this? I think I'm okay. So I think I'm still good. I might take a break in a little bit, but I think I'm good right now. All right, so let's get this deployed. What is that going to take? We're going to make a couple of changes. Thank you for that. We're here. We think we have a good example. It was received. Let's go. We have tests. Oh, we want the docs. So now I've got these test samples on what the listen looks like and what the actuated health looks like. But now I want to include those into my docs. So let's do that last step. And this is the YouTube listener service. Listens for webhook events from pub. Oh, please hold. All right. So, pubhub, subhub, and up. Listens for webhook events from pubhub, subhub. and does nothing. Boom. All right, so that's what it looks like. Now we've got these calls, we've got this operation. The operation is not listen, health, right? And I want to show how to call help with snippets equals curl request and http request. Boop. Boop. Let me slide this over. So this is the part where it's going to generate health snippets, curl that. Right, this is, why is this not snippet curl request not found? Okay, that's fine. Let me run it again. Let me run it again. So we're getting some stuff. Oh, look at this. Hey, new viewer, can I get some context on the project? Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I missed your message. I'm bouncing back between these views, and it doesn't show me the time, so I don't know how long I've missed. This is a message from Kick, and yeah, let me do a reset. Look at this. Hello, hello. Here's what we're doing. I am over here. I am going to be, this project is all about YouTube. I'm making videos. Down here, I'm making videos. I'm streaming. I'm going to try to stream every day around this time. And not there. And I'm going to subscribe to my channel. So when I'm done, what endpoint are you using? So it's not an endpoint. So I'm going to do this pubsub subscribe. And I'm going to say, hey, when you get an event from this channel, I want you to send me this atom to this URL. And it's going to put it on the root. That's what I ended up. It's going to put it on the root of this project that I just built. This project is going to scale to 0. And I've got some documentation here, right? And that documentation is so I'm using rest assured so I can test my native image the same way that I'm doing during my inner loop development here. And that's what we're doing. So that's what the project is for my viewer over on Kick. Hopefully that helped. And yeah, we'll keep on going. So here's where we're at. Excellent. Here's where we're at. We have this. We have this health. We're just going to run that again. Make sure that I've got a snippet called health. Right. So now in my code, I've got a snippet called health, and now this should stop complaining because it sees it. Cool. So that just says like, hey, yeah, like check that the service is healthy. That's how you do it. And I'm gonna do one more thing. Post the Atom XML event to the service. And how do you do that? With this operation here. Listen. Same way. So now, when I run my tests, when I run all my tests, let's do it this way. Can I run all my tests? Yeah. Now when I run this, do I need this one? Yes. When I run this one, when I run this class, all the snippets are going to be built. Cool. So the snippets get built. And what that has done is it has validated that this is the way that my project works right now. So it generates those snippets. And then when I build my project, it's going to inject those snippets into my code. So now, because I have those snippets already there, this is what you're going to call. This is what you'd call to get the health. This is the URL. Whoops, sorry. I don't want to do the CurlOS. I'm just going to use HTTP. So yeah, I'm gonna simplify it just because. So the only thing I want to do is HTTP. Boop. I'm gonna simplify my docs a little bit. So now it's going to show you exactly how to call. So you can, if you're testing this, you can copy and paste this and feed my endpoint some data and it'll work. Fantastic. This is what we're doing. So when I build this project, I'm going to get this documentation included in my project. Now, I think I needed one more thing. Because I'm planning on making this a native image. Did I have to add metadata, or is it okay? It looks like it's okay. So let's check it out. So here we are good, right? Our tests work. I think we're ready to commit things and go. Like, hey, here, you can have it. Here we go. So here's what we're doing. Yes, so let me give it to you right now. Hold on. We're gonna go here, get status, get add everything. This is where we're at right now. Get commit -m, maybe ready, or I'll just say our tests are working. Get push right here. So now this is all here. This is available over here on github.com, javagrunt/com.javagrunt.listener.youtube. Here's where the code is. So please follow. Thank you for being here. Let me, I believe you're new. My name is Deshaun. I am a Spring developer advocate. I'm trying to get a head start on my new year. So you can find me on the places. Here's me, but fun fact, this is also me, where I'm gonna, the streaming, the live streaming stuff. I'm Java Grunt over on Twitch, and I'm kind of like expanding a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to be here, hopefully every day, around this same time. 8:30 to 10:30 Central. We're going a little over today because I don't have a whole lot of other stuff going on and I'm having fun. But I'm here. Even though I'm building these projects, I don't have a timeline or an agenda or anything like that. I'm building projects to practice. But the number one thing, I'm here to help. So even though I'm building stuff, I want you to interrupt me. I want to be for you, the person, like we're working remote. I want to be that person for you that you're like, hey, do you know how to do this thing? I want to be that for you, that you get when you're normally in an office. So here's my stuff. I got lots of stuff. What I mainly talk about here is these. I'm a Spring developer advocate. I love Spring Boot. I'm going to deploy this thing that we're working on. It's going to be deployed to one of these. This is a $15 Raspberry Pi 02. And it's going to be a part of the cluster that's up in there. Those are Raspberry Pis and a couple of Nooks. So it's going to be running on Kubernetes, and it's going to scale to 0. The example that I showed earlier was this. Let's do that again. We're going to hit K9s because I'm running it on my laptop. There's nothing here called the Deshaun-io, but if you go and hit this URL, it's running. Hit that URL, it's running, and it's going to scale up, right? The service that we're building is a listener. There's only going to be an event when I upload a file, when I change a title, or when I change the description. So then, there you go. We can see that it's scaled up and it handled that request. And you got a number that I think was 724 days, right? That's how long I've been enjoying this job and doing this. I'm going to be here streaming. This is what I'm working on today. You know, here it's scaling down. After 15 seconds, when nobody hits it, it scales back down to 0. So I get all of that resource back. So my Kubernetes is set up to listen to that URL that you just hit, and it'll stand up. All of this is provided by Spring Boot. It's a native image. So the image is super tiny and it stands up really, really fast. That's what I'm gonna do. So thank you for being here. I also really like Spring Boot, but I'm just starting out with Webflux. I still can't handle it correctly. Me either, I'll be honest. I'm trying to learn. I'm gonna tell you a secret. This is where I'm gonna learn. Spring.academy. Right, I'm here. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I don't know everything, even though I'm a Spring developer advocate. I'm here to help, but I'm learning. I'm trying to learn things. But even more, I want to get deep into the reactive stuff. I want Josh Long, Reactive Spring. I want this book. This is where you should go. Actually, you shouldn't go there. You should actually go to pubsub. There's a Reactive Spring pubsub. Wait, what? No, not. What is his? Let's go to his website. There's a better place to go buy it. The books on LeanPub. This one. Buy it here. On LeanPub. Yeah, you can adjust. Go there and buy Reactive Spring. And if you're in that book, this is where I'm going to be as well. And the thing is, like, look at this. Like, he's still making updates to it. So whenever he pushes an update, we automatically get it. How cool is that? So this is where you should be. This is what you want to do. Get access to all of his stuff. And yeah, do this. Like, I'm going to tweet that out. Like, this is where you should be. Like, hey, all right, I won't do it right there. I'll do it. This is where I want you to be. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put this out on Twitter. Like, hey, you want to learn Reactive Spring with me? Yes. And sorry, I'm doing this little, twitch.tv. Right. Boom. There you go. Boom, there we go. Got that taken care of. Do a little shout out. I'm doing this. Bang keyboard. So I'm gonna write that down. So what I understand is you want a bang keyboard command. And I think what you're asking here is, what kind of keyboard am I using? I'm gonna actually watch this. I can do this cool thing. I have some stuff here. Let's see. I think that's what you're asking. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to present an extra camera and this Okio desk cam. Apologies for the I'm trying to get it into the view here. There we go. And let's throw that up. Boop. I'll show you that keyboard. I think I can do it this way. That's what I'm working with. Oh, Wife is calling, please hold. All right, so hey, you can see my keyboard. I don't know what kind it is. Vortex. I'm really happy with it. I like the stuff. Yeah, update. But yeah, now you can. There's the keyboard. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully that was cool. Yeah, I'm Deshaun. I'm having fun. We're now taking this application a little bit further. We're going to take it a little bit closer to production. Can I move this this way? There we go. And there we go. I know on Twitch, that's one of the things is like, I need to put my little, like, what computer am I using, the equipment that I'm using, all the stuff. I need to do that. Actually, I should do this. Yeah. What else should I do? Like, what else am I missing? I don't have my bot. So like background, I started doing Mixer, and then Mixer went away, and then I was over on Twitch, and I have fun on Twitch. And yeah, this has been my happy place. But now I'm kind of streaming all over the place, and I'm trying to stream every morning. I'm a Spring Developer advocate. I'm doing this stuff. So when I stream in the morning, wouldn't it be cool? Because a lot of this stuff, I'm distracted and I'm taking questions. A lot of it's not really that interesting, but it's out there on YouTube. And when I'm done, I expect to get this event. I'm going to subscribe to these YouTube events for this channel, and it's going to do this. And then the next step, right? You're like, hey, so like, big deal. You subscribe to the event, because the next thing is we're going to send it over here. We're going to send like, hey, here's the video info. We're going to send that video info over to this other project that I'm working on with Josh Long and Anand. Here, github.com, YouTube, Atoms. Don't check this out right now, but what this is going to do is it's going to get that video information, and what it's going to do from there, again, this is based on Lab Everyday's work, which we saw, we got excited about, icons using it. You should probably use it. If you're interested in what I'm doing now, you'll probably be interested in this. Because what we're doing here is we're going to take that video ID, we're going to download the transcript from that video, we're going to have it summarize what was talked about. Give us, maybe break it into chapters for us, and then update the YouTube info. And it's going to use AI to give us a summary. But we're also going to ask it some interesting questions like, hey, what's like the best like 30 seconds out of that transcript to maybe make a clip out of? Or maybe there's more than one. Like, generate a clip for me. And also, generate a thumbnail for me. What did we talk about today? Generate a thumbnail based on those topics, and just do all that stuff for me, because I'm not awesome. I'm not a front-end guy. Like, I'm doing this. I have fun on Twitch, but I'm trying to stream everywhere. I want to be available to you. So when I've got these videos, you can see where I actually had the thumbnail generated here using the AI. And you can see the examples, right? You can tell which ones were generated by AI and which ones weren't. But I don't want to think about those things. That's just how that wears me out. I want to just answer questions, help you get unstuck. And when I'm done, if there's something cool, like generate a thumbnail for me, give me a description, and I'll continue on with the rest of my day. But when I'm done streaming, I want to be done. The post-production stuff makes me sad. It wears me out just thinking about it. So this is what I'm building. I'm trying to build a system using Spring Boot, using the APIs that are available to me. So when I'm done streaming today, wouldn't it be nice if I just had a thing that goes and says, hey, your video's done, and gives me a description and generates some search engine tags for me so that other people can find it, and generates a thumbnail. Wouldn't that be awesome? That's what we're working on. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but we're gonna try. This project is awesome. It works, like we know that we can do it, but I wanna take away the manual steps. I wanna make it so when I'm done streaming, this process kicks off. And in order to do that, I've got to subscribe to this pubsub, this event. And, per the documentation, if I create a new video, or I change the video title or a video description, I should get an event. And the event should look like this. We tested it. We tested it over here, that it works, and I proved it, and I'm spitting it out into my documentation. And now I think I'm ready to push it and build up some images. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna close this. I can take this to production. Remember, I'm running Kubernetes. So when I do this, mvnw spring boot build image, I'm gonna get an OCI image, a Docker container that I can deploy to Spring. Ooh, this one might break because I didn't say, oh, my tests ran. It did stuff. It's downloading all the stuff it needs to do. But I didn't say it's going to try to build a native. It's going to work. It's going to build a native image. It might take a little bit longer than I expected. But this is going to build my container that I can deploy to Kubernetes. And here we go. So now locally, I've got this image. I want to change this name. I'm going to change this convention a little bit. So apologies. I want my images. I can't deploy this image to Docker Hub. So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to change it here. Again, this is I'm just changing my defaults because of the work that I've been doing with Josh. So what I want the name to be is Deshaun. And I want this to be, that. I want it to be $project.group ID. Or could it just be project.name? Please hold. If I change this to this, it could just be project.name. I might change my default settings. So let's do that again, because I want Deshaun/com.java. Let's see if that works. Let's see. So the other cool thing is, because I'm using the Maven Spring Boot plugin, or the Spring Boot Maven plugin, it's generating my documentation and it's generating docs to go along with the image, and they're going to be inside of the image. So this code is generating a Docker image. Yes, I'm using build packs. So I don't have a Docker file. Friends don't let friends use Docker file. I'm using Spring. Spring makes it easy. Spring is Kubernetes native. All the things that you'd expect when you're on your way to Kubernetes or Docker or Swarm or whatever, all those things that you would expect, we make it easy. The Spring team makes it easy. I'm a Spring developer advocate. I just use the stuff. I'm not making a whole lot of it. So yes, I now have a Docker image, and this Docker image, check this out. So this one here is a Arch 64. Wait, I feel like I'm missing something here. I'm missing the version. Oh, it says latest. Wait a minute, what did I do? I changed this. Oh, I took out the project dash version. So, wait, I did that wrong. So this should be project.name dash dollar, oops, dash dollar project dot version dash, right? So I'm going to compare it with this one. Colon project. Colon V project.version. Not dash. Colon V project.version. Oh, I just heard a beep. I got a notification. No. Luis, let me help you. You've got Spring projects, but you have a Docker image. You have this file called Docker file in here somewhere. And here's the thing. When you have a Docker file, you got to take care of that Docker file. Like you got to do all the upgrading and stuff like that. Here, when I'm using the Spring Boot Maven plugin, I'm just saying like, oh, build this. Use this builder. Hopefully you don't have to use my builder very long. I use this one because I'm building multi-architecture images. So let's do this real quick. I want to show you, like, you have this command. If you're using Spring Boot, you have this command to build these images. It's right here. Spring Boot build image. That's all you have to do. You do not need a Docker file. So I'm going to build this again because I want my project to be named properly. I name my versions are generated by the tag of my Git repo. So since I haven't tagged it, it's going to have a snapshot tag. And I'm going to probably change those defaults as well. I don't want to use dirty. So let me make another tiny little change in here in my extensions. jgit config, use dirty. I'm going to say false. I'm going to say false here too. No, I'm going to leave that as true. Let's see. So now it says this. I'm going to do it one more time. It shouldn't take that long. All right, we got a snapshot version of this image, and I can do a Docker push and push that up, but I don't want to push up a snapshot. I want to give you a version. Let's run this. Let's run this. Please hold, because I don't remember these commands off the top of my head either, which I should. And as I get more comfortable, as I get more reps in, I'll remember what these commands are. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna slide this over here because I give myself notes on how I want to do things, and I know where to find them. Right? I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know where to find it. And here we go. We're back. Are we in my project? Java Grunt listener. I made some changes, but I was over here in the terminal, so I got the version that I want. I want to copy this command, and I'm going to paste it here. Nope, not that one. I'm going to change it. This is the YouTube listener. YouTube listener. And we're just going to copy this, the image, and we're going to run it. So now it's running. So now this project, yeah, remove your Docker images, remove your Docker files. You don't want Docker file. Simplify your life. Use build packs. And if you get stuck, you have questions, you come here. 8:30 to 10:30. I'm trying to do this every single day, 8:30 to 10:30 Central. We'll go a little bit over when we're having fun. And I don't have anything. My wife went to lunch without me. I don't have anything else on my schedule that I'm required to go to. So here we are. Let's keep on going. We have this image that we built, and this image should have some documentation, and it should be able to accept some traffic. And we ran it, and it's on localhost 8080. I should be able to see actuator health. It's up. And I should be able to see the docs. Oh, so did I not generate the docs right? Okay, let's see what we did. I wanted it at docs. Oh, I think I know what it did. So let's fix that. I want my documentation to be there. So I got another step to do. I want to make sure that my documentation gets put in the right spot. And please hold. Let's go look at what happened. So in my Maven resources plugin, I said copy these resources into static docs. So in target, in classes, I should have static docs. So I should have an index.html. It's there. Is it at static docs? No static resources. No. Do I have to put the index.html? Okay. So here's our docs. How do I make it so that that's visible? I bet you I did that over here. Please hold. I don't know what the property is, but I want it. I want to make it so that it doesn't. I don't have to put in the index.html. I want to make these visible. So this is saying like, hey, this is what the app does that we just built. And here's an example. You can call this, or you'll be able to call this to get the request. I should put the response. But this is how you post AtomXML event to the service. Here's an example of doing it. Here's the command using http. Interesting. So this is an example. You know what? This is cool right here. Oh, it had a replace that it did. But yeah, we'll keep on going. This is fun. We're making progress. I think I'm ready to deploy this. So I don't think I have a tenant set up. Hey, hello, welcome. My name is Deshaun. I'm a Spring developer advocate. We're building stuff with Spring Boot, and we're deploying it to Raspberry Pis running Kubernetes. So you're catching. I've been streaming for a while, but we're just having fun. If you've got questions, feel free to ask. I have no agenda, no schedule. I'm here making myself available. I'm here to help. So in my head, you're working on stuff, I'm working on stuff, and I'm the guy that's on the other side of the desk if we were working in an office. But a lot of us, I am working from home. And sometimes it's nice to have somebody to ask questions. And that's all I'm trying to do. But I'm a Spring developer advocate. I love Spring Boot. I love Raspberry Pis. This is what we're working on. Is I'm making a YouTube event listener. So when I do these streams, I'm going to get an event in AtomXML. It's going to go to this application that we just built. My application, I just demonstrated that I've got documentation generated from my tests. So my documentation is always going to match what's deployed to production. And yeah, and I'm deploying those documents. I'm deploying that, and my tests are running. So we're in good shape. This is going to be deployed as a native image, and it's going to scale to 0, running on Kubernetes on a Raspberry Pi. So now, this is a great question. How do you learn more about Spring Boot? I'm going to tell you. Because I still don't know everything. I want to know more about Spring Boot. Spring.academy is the best place to start. It's here. There's a bunch of free courses, free guides. You can pick things up here. This is the best place to start, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you go into one of these and you start the lab, you don't need anything else. You don't have to install Java. You don't have to install IntelliJ. You don't have to do anything else. You can just jump in, and it gives you Visual Studio Code inside of your browser. It gives you all the things. So you have an IDE, you got Java installed, and you can go and run the examples, and you can work through the tutorials all right here in the browser. It's no easier than that. You cannot get easier than that. This is what you should do. Spring.academy is where you should start. And you don't, here's the other thing. Normally people are like, oh, but do I have to go and learn Java first? No, start here. Spring puts an abstraction on top of Java. You can do a lot of amazing things without knowing the deep and internals of Java. You can get a lot of things done. You can go to production. You can build a career without having a full understanding of how garbage collection works. You can still be taking things to production. There's a lot of senior software engineers that have no idea how garbage collection really works. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. You don't have to. Start here. You're going to have fun. It's easy. There's no easier way to get started than right here. Have fun. Man, look at this. Like, even though you might not have been here, Duan, you've been here because I'm talking about you, man. Were your ears burning? Like, you're a big part of what we're doing. And I'll show you what we're working on is now when I publish, when I have a new video, I'm going to subscribe to this YouTube data. Anytime I upload a video or I make a change, I'm going to get this event. I'm going to get an event. And that event's going to call this service that I just built. And yeah, it's going to pass that information about the video ID, right? That's what I want. And it's going to call this service. And then my service can call your service and feed it. Hey, here's the video ID. Go do all the things. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to stand up the website. I want it all running just in the background. Just do it. And there's this idea. I'm just going to throw it out there. You can throw it back or you can throw it away. But there's this idea where, you know how we're making the thumbnails? I could actually test out different thumbnails for the same video. So I can say, hey, go ahead and generate 2 thumbnail images and let's make different videos and let's see which ones work better. And just do it automatically for me. And after a day or two, then pick the one that works best. What do you think about that? Like, we can do all these things, but I don't want to mess with it. I want to do my stream. I want to be done. I want to go on to the rest of my work, and I want all this stuff to be done automatically. And if I tune it right, I connect the things right, I plug it into the right models, then we'll let it go. I can check in every once in a while, but I just want it to be automated. I don't want to mess with it. I want it to be deployed to my Raspberry Pis. I want it to scale to 0 when it's not being used, because this one that I'm building today, right? This thing, I don't want to be consuming resources when I'm only going to do 1 stream a day or 2 or 3 at most, right? So it doesn't need to be running all day. So I'm going to have it scaled to 0. And when YouTube sends over that webhook data, it'll stand up. It'll say, oh, thank you for the Atom feed. And it'll do its thing. It'll call your service and it's going to be done. And 15 seconds later, it'll be back to 0 and something else can be using those Raspberry Pis. That's where we're at. So now I've just built this service. I'm kind of doing some tweaks. I don't have a tenant. So the way I'm deploying this is going to be a really boring and not cool part of the stream is I don't have, I can stop this. This is running locally, just showing that my documentation works. I don't have, I'm going to do Docker stop, YouTube listener. I don't have this tenant, this Java grunt tenant. I don't have it set up on my home lab at the moment, or maybe I do. Let's go take a look. So let's do the boring, like, platformy stuff. Sorry, but I want this to be deployed, and I want to verify because I haven't had a call yet. So wouldn't it be nice if I could go make a change, do something, and get an event before I'm done with the stream? I think I still have time to make this happen. I do. So that's what I'm working on. I want to make this work. I want to show it. And I want to get deployed. So let's do this quick. Let's go into fun, Sean, cloud, flux control. This is how I control my cloud. This is how I get things deployed to production. And what we're going to do here is not here. We're going to open up our project. We've got some clusters. I've got this basement cluster that we can take a look at. kubectx basement. And I'm gonna do this can service list a, like there's nothing deployed there. There's no knative serving stuff there. Does it have knative serving? Yes. Let's do this, k9s. Let's see what's running, because this is the one that I want to be my my production. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go boop, boop, boop a little bit so we can see it. I just wanna make sure I have it all. And yeah, let's deploy it here. So I don't think I have a tunnel set up for this one yet. So I'm gonna have to do a couple like boring, not Spring Booty things. This is more infrastructure networking stuff. So the way that I do this, actually I could do it. No, I'm not. Do I have a tenant for Java Grunt? Let's just do it. So the way that I set up my tenants, this is my pattern. I'm going to set up a new directory called Java Grunt -com. This is where it's deployed. That's okay. We're going to keep on going. JavaGrunt.com. I think I can just straight up copy all these files. Yeah, of course. Are you setting up networking between clusters? Yes. As you can see here, I'm using Cilium and cluster mesh. So I can connect multiple clusters. So, right here, fun fact, Sean.com, my children will never deploy active passive. We don't have active passive money. We don't have cloud money. We get Raspberry Pi money. We can't afford to have things that are deployed and not being used. My children will never deploy active passive. So here, what we're doing is I've got two different networks, and I'll show you quick. These are two separate physical networks. They are on separate power circuits. So that if something happens with one of them, these workloads should still be able to exist and run. So let's do this. Let me show you kubectl get nodes -o wide. So this, I want you to pay attention to the IPs, internal IPs. So this is on one physical network, the one that's in the basement, hence the name. But now if we go over here, is kubectx cluster hat 00. This is a cluster that's definitely on another physical network, right? In the other region inside my house, the other region. And this one, kubectl get nodes -o wide. You'll see that it's on a different subnet. It's on a different physical network. These are different physical networks that have different providers. This one is, you already know, this one's AT&T, and on the fiber, and this one is on T-Mobile 5G. So the 192 is over here on this other physical network that's on the other side of the house on a different circuit. This one is the one that's fiber connected. So these are going to be connected with cluster mesh. Not all, right? Some clusters will be connected with cluster mesh so that when I deploy something, I can deploy it to both clusters. So that if one of them goes down, like, this, right? This project, if one of those regions goes down, then I can still be listening on the other region. And what I have in front of that is, which you're going to see if you stick around, I've got Cloudflare. So my app says, hey, I'm here. I'll accept traffic. And this is the part that I need to do. I need to get this Cloudflare tunnel set up. So, not familiar with Spring Boot? Is it a web hosting backend or something else entirely? Sorry if I'm repeating a question you already answered. No, it's okay. I know for me, like for a lot of my career, it was hard to ask questions. I was embarrassed. Oh, you should already know this. Not here. This is a safe place. Ask all the questions. Spring Boot is a framework. Spring is a framework. Spring Boot is, it wraps Spring. It makes my life easier. It sits on top of Java. So it makes doing Java development enjoyable and easy and fun. And for me, I get production ready, right? This is when I think of Spring Boot, I think production ready features. So the development that we did today, again, we started this all today. We started over here at start.spring.io. And this is where I started this project. I went over here, I said, hey, I want an actuator. The actuator gives me metrics, a place that I can go look at metrics, a place where I can go configure my logging, a place where I can see how it's configured or get information about what version it is. I get all these like production grade, production ready things because of the Spring Boot actuator. But then I said, hey, I want Spring Web. So I want MVC, I want to make a RESTful application, but I want to do GraalVM. So I really just grabbed a couple of dependencies. This one allows me to make a native image. So I take an extra step, I do ahead of time compilation, and I'll get an image, I'll get a Spring Boot application that's made it with Java and Spring Boot, and it'll give me a native statically linked image that I can run on a 512 megabyte Raspberry Pi 02. And that's what we're doing. So we're taking these steps. And then the other thing is I want REST docs. So when I deploy this to production, I want to give my documentation with it. So I want to make it so it has documentation. So it has all these things. But we did this morning while I've been asking questions. And that's what I think about with Spring. So it gives me a web server. Spring Boot gives me a web server. Gives me all the things I need to run as a single process, everything, I'm ready to go. If I want to connect to databases, I can do that as well. But here I don't need to, not yet. So this is what we're doing. Hopefully that helped. It was a short intro, but I've said it a couple times already. If you want to go and learn more about Spring, this is the place to go. Spring.academy. There's tons of free guides, courses, and if you want to be a Spring certified professional, you can do that as well. Hopefully that helped. And if you want to learn React to Spring with me, you definitely want to go and buy this book because I'm going to be digging through this book. I'm excited about what I do. I'm excited about the things I've been learning lately. And I think the daily streaming and stuff is going to help. But I'm still learning. I don't know all the things. And I just got done with Craig Wall's book, Spring in Action, the 6th edition. And it got me excited. And now I'm ready to kind of go a little bit deeper. And I'm going to jump into Josh's book. And so if you want to dig in, you want to learn Spring, buy the book, come join me here Monday to Friday, hopefully, 8:30 to 10:30. This is where I'll be. We're working on this. Duan dropped in. He started this whole thing. Duan, it's all your fault why we're doing this. And now we're getting into production. We're trying to go to production. So we have this listener service. We validated that the documentation is working. I'm reminding you that my children will never deploy active passive. So we're now inside of this project where we're building our automation. We want to automate everything. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to paste it over here because this is my tenant. So let's go and look at these files. Let's look what it's doing. So this says customization, grab these 2 files. Okay, cool. Let's go look at those 2 files. RBAC, we're going to replace Deshaun-dev. I can't replace it all. We're going to replace Deshaun-dev with Java grunt-com. Okay, so it's going to create a namespace called javagrunt-com. It's going to create a service account for javagrunt-com. It's going to do some role bindings for the GOTK reconciler. And here we go, service account. So that's the RBAC. Now we've got to do the sync. Where's it going to get its stuff from? Again, let's replace Deshaun-dev with JavaGrunt-com. Now, this is my naming convention, but unfortunately I can't use it here. Can I? Let's go take a look. No. Let's create a new org. Right? Can I do that? Just to keep with convention? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go create a new organization. Just to keep with the convention. Cool. So now I'm going to move this project. I gave away the URL, but I'm going to move it over here. Just to stick with the conventions, right? So let's do this. Let's move. So this is here. This is our current setup. Let's move it. Settings. Oh, it's all the way down here. We're going to transfer ownership. And we're going to move it to JavaGrunt-com. Cool. Type javagrunt/com.javagrunt.listener.youtube. I understand. Let's update it. Do the auth. Yes, go. Fantastic. So now it's moved. It's over there. So now I don't have to do anything. I'll make these other ones. I'll rotate. I'm gonna leave this here though. So maybe we can find it. Find the code. So here it is. I can follow all of my conventions, and now I've got a tenant that I can deploy. So let's do this. Okay, we're good. And we're going to add this, right? Git add tenants javagrunt.com. We're good. So now I can commit that, right? What I've said here is that if you want to deploy this tenant, you go here, set up the RBAC, all the permissions, and this is where your deployment's going to be. You're going to sync with this directory in order to deploy things. So I need to make that repository, but for right now, git commit and tenant. Cool. So now let's go back over here to JavaGrunt.com. This is my tenant. So here's the thing. With this stuff that I'm doing for my subscribers over on Twitch, the idea is they'll be able to give me a repository, an org on GitHub, and I'll be able to deploy their fun projects to my Raspberry Pis if they follow the conventions. And we'll get to that kind of stuff. So that's what we're trying to do. We're having fun. We're having fun. So as just practice, right? As a practice. We're here. We've got stuff. We're going to add one more repository, our Flux repository, right? Just by convention. This is where the things are set up. It's going to be public. Do I need a README? I don't think so. Maybe I'll do that anyways. So in case this, oh, I'm hearing, so I got my beeps. My colleagues are in my ears. I don't know where it's coming from. I got to find it. Here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so I am going to jump. Please hold. No, I'm gonna end my stream for the day, and yeah, go help my colleagues out. So I'm out. Thanks. I'll be back tomorrow.